Hi! Wake up. It's time for 3.28. Not really. There's still another week and a half. But we're so close. We're so close. You can't see. So we're getting the announcement on Thursday for Mirage League. And I figured what would be fun would be talk about everything we're hoping for, everything we're expecting, everything we don't want, everything everyone's scared about. What about everything everyone's scared about? Good morning. Let me just get my YouTube chat. How you doing, Chris Merck _ Notion? Really bored launch day new league. I know it needs to get here. Sneaky, go on. Simple Cookie, Kale Canoodle, Guitar Holic. I'm hoping so much that KF doesn't get nuked. But that's probably my biggest fear. My biggest fear right now is GG kills Kinetic Fuselage for fun. For their fun, not mine. You made a responsive site of the PoE forums, but it seems like none is interested other than yourself. What do you mean a responsive site of the PoE forums? Wait, let me just open my Discord. Make sure it's not in the wrong place. And there were also some really, really good videos. There's a video from Snap. Did everyone see the Snap video that came out? We're back! Almost! Well, kinda. We can pretend we're back. You try and stay away from the PoE forum. Me too. No, wait. I feel a bit bright. Hello. Professional streamer legally. Legally, yes. The legal definition, I am a professional streamer. You started speedrun. Chris, that's what I was thinking of doing. Is like practicing some league start Connect Fuselage, but I don't know if they're gonna just like obliterate the shit out of it and then you want to either King's March passive gold spend gone and build it on where the mappers shop stay. It's a bit absurd that gold farming. Dude, I hate that shit. I gotta admit. You saw the Snap video 9 times. What, like everyone reacting to it? A website that adjusts to viewport size. Oh. Wait, so like a PoE website that you can read the patch notes on your phone. Yeah, everyone reacted to it. Did they? That video from Snap is so good. So good. Although, it made me a little bit sad, man. Did anyone else get sad when they watched that video? KB and KBark had a 7% play rate each. KF said 1%. That should be enough. I don't know if they balance based on percentage of skills played. Especially since PoE Ninja. How many people were playing Kinetic Fuselage in the latest league? In Frasier. Frasier 2.0? Kinetic Fuselage was the 3rd most. It was tied for the most played skill in Frasier. So yeah, it was like one of the most played. The reason that it was only 2% is because no one believed it. Once Palstron made a video, then everyone hopped on it. Light and Passion! 6 months sub.
Seems to be a suspicious amount of time spent here.
That is a suspicious amount, I agree. Thank you for the 6 months. How you doing, Patrick? You don't know which video? There's a video from Snap. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it again. Now that you have a child, you end up in the sofa a lot, so reading on the fish floor on your phone sucks. Dude, that's awesome. I want that. Because I often read patch notes in bed with coffee. You glad that this opinion is mainstream now? You know the top end blaster thought this since Calandra? And you remember being mocked for it? A little bit of a told you so? Wait, what do you mean? Fubgun had a video. Oh! It didn't get nearly the response. The thing, dude, Snap is one of the smartest and most articulate PoE players. Like, he really thinks through what he does, and he has an incredible, like, encyclopedic knowledge of the game. Well, I don't know, like, encyclopedic, but he's got a very interesting way of analyzing the game in a way that the thing that I really like about Snap, what he does is that he will explain something in a way that makes you go, oh wait, you know what, that's right, it is like that, and I didn't ever really realize. And then after watching his video, you notice it. And he's done that with a lot of videos where you say, wait, you're right. I kind of didn't notice that, but now that you pointed it out. Whereas Fubgun, we can watch the Fubgun video. I mean, shit, we've got time to kill. We have time to kill. Snap, dude, like, you can't not love Snap, right? Shrewd is the word. So one thing, and the LE, dude, I'm not gonna play. I might check it out. I watch it. Mirror and Kutch, thanks for the follow. I remember having discussions with Sir Gog about ground loot in the past, and I remember disagreeing with him quite strongly and being of the opinion that there is an obsession with ground loot mattering when it doesn't necessarily need to matter as much as people say. It's in the end game, in the late end game. But I actually want to go back and check, because at the time I remember the discussion when we were talking about ground loot, and I was talking about ground loot with people like Sir Gog, the discussion always revolved around finding upgrades to equip on your character. That's what, when we said ground loot, we always were talking about, can I find my next like rare body armor or weapon on the ground? And I was always saying, like, I don't think that needs to be the case in the late end game. Like, that's impossible. Whereas now ground loot seems to be a discussion of finding things on the ground. Instead of finding that Mirror of Calandra from like a shipment or your mappers, you kill a monster, that's ground loot. Yeah, Snap Studio was fantastic. Michael, I'm doing well. Yeah, it was about rare items. I also feel like it's rare items, but now everyone's talking about ground loot, and they're actually just talking about like monsters dropping shit. How you doing, Krishna? They're doing a release next week. Next week Friday is the launch of 3.28. Hooray! But now, yeah, exactly. So, or Nord. Now the discussion when people are talking about ground loot, what people mean is, like I said, finding stuff on the ground. And especially Lost League, I think the reason that Lost League felt so sparse in terms of farming strategies was that they like doubled down on that idea of, let's, instead of having loot fall on the ground, we have a thing that you must then collect to then take to a place to then do a thing, and then you click the button and then you maybe receive something good. And then on top of that, that invalidated about a dozen strategies. Harbinger was shit, Essences sucked, Expedition, Rog farming sucked, like Delve was way less good because fossils were bad. And then on top of that, then they removed like probably about 8, I don't know, maybe not 8, but like it could have been like 8 strategies that were really fun. Like Abyss, they made absolute shit. They just like removed those scarabs. They removed rogue exile farming, like giant rogue exiles. That not only removed like a really, really fun high-end endgame strategy, but it also removed the strategy of farming the giant exiles to sell to people who are doing the strategy. So there's 2 strategies gone. And then like in the end, it felt like there was so little that you could do. And I think that's why this is now reached a head where people are like, we're sick of having to do chores to get loot instead of playing the game, man. Honey Feet, 24 months. Thank you, Honey Feet. You think either like ground loot or alternative non-juiced other systems should do something, because it's sort of like you tunnel into Blight, for example, and you ignore everything else on the map. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nord, not realistically. But the thing is, now they've like removed that aspect, but then they've also pulled back from the... They've like redistributed where you find stuff. So instead of it being from like just mapping, like all can go, it's from you do this thing to get this thing, to then put it in this thing, to then click a button and then maybe get a thing out of doing the thing. So there's like 4 steps between. It's like everything is now an incubator. Everything's an not everything, but like a lot of stuff is incubators now. You gotta move, yeah. Blight of Contagion, ooh. Switch off the initial Atlas map progression. That'd be cool. I suspect they are gonna do something like that. They're so focused on endgame with PoE 2 that I suspect that it will be a focus for this PoE 1 league. Genesis Tree definitely made the situation more obvious, yeah. Ground loot can mean monsters, yeah. But I think at this point, when people talk about ground loot, like 6 months ago it was something different. Now what people are talking about is this kill monster, get loot. That probably does get hard to keep strats fresh in a silver level. The thing is that people find new strats and they remove it. They find new strats, they remove it. They find new strats, they remove it. They're like constantly cutting back, and then without replacing it with anything. Like in the Snap video, he spoke about the Tormented Spirit strategy, that was removed, and then people moved on to the Rogue Exile strategy, and then they removed that, and they don't put anything in its place. And then by the end of it, you end up with this really stripped back system, and then on top of it, just the base game has extremely poor drop rates. So tile loots are fine, but the issue with ground loot from killing monsters along the way, everything becomes chasing tiles. Yes, yeah. You don't feel like the monsters you kill along the way could drop the good thing. And one thing that Snap actually forgot in his video was he spoke a lot about during Calandra how they added in loot conversion so that monsters could have modifiers that could then convert all their loot into, for example, currency, and then you get those big currency drops. And then they removed the historic quantity buff, but then a few leagues later, what they did was they removed a whole lot of the conversions. So they like removed the base loot, stuck it onto rare monsters as a compensation, and then they removed some of those bonuses from the rare monsters, so you can't get those currency conversions anymore, and then didn't replace it. Oh, rad. Andy. 50 mil DPS with KF in Frisia. Awesome, man. Thank you, Andy. And thanks, Ruby and Orton, for the follows. Getting gold sends shipments is so that you can get divines. Yeah, exactly. 10 millions. What's up? And farming divination cards. I used to love doing that. Like farming your 8 doctor cards from burial chambers to get your headhunter. Like I haven't seen an apothecary. I haven't seen a doctor card since they made those changes. Like unless you're doing certain strategies, you don't just see them fall on the ground, really. Blight of Contagion into Expedition. Ooh. I think getting all maps completed, going through so much you don't enjoy, just focus on speed, feels very meh. I also don't really like that. I hate having to run maps to get the points, but I don't know how else they would do it. French frog. What's up? PoE feel like it's on life support. I don't know if it feels like it's on life support. But something is definitely weird. Yeah, Spider Forest, exactly, like Spider Forest, burial chambers. It's all because Chris left us. It's not though, because Chris was there and spearheading those changes that led to all of this. I don't think there's any conspiracy that they're trying to make the game bad so that people leave. Like PoE 1 makes them a shitload of money still. Do you think they do watch these videos? For sure. Backup in case KF gets nuked? No, I don't. I'll just wing it. We'll see. Maybe there's something in the patch notes. Maybe we'll play the new... I don't know, they showed a new skill. 1 to 16 in different ways. Yeah, maybe actually. They did show off a new skill, but... Oh, frick. Go back. Path of Exile. BV? I love BV. Oh, so they did show this. Everyone was pogging out about this. I don't know why. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but... Firstly... We don't know, is this like a Val skill? Does it function like this? Does it scale with AoE? Also, if it's good and Ziggy D plays it in his playtest, GG will kill it before it even comes out. So, I don't want to be mean, but like this doesn't excite me much. Yeah, you see, everyone's like kinetic rain moment. This is one of the problems with the balance lately. Even during... I remember during Expedition. During Expedition, there was a massive nerf to like the entire game, and everyone was freaking out. Even back then, those nerfs made sense to me, and I don't think it was a bad thing. Like, I did this video, why some people hate nerfs and others love them. The nerfs used to make sense to me, but the nerfs lately really don't. I don't get it. Like, why do you showcase a skill and then completely nuke it before it even comes out? The only explanation I've had to that was good was if a skill is too strong, then everyone's going to play it, and they'd rather have no one play it than everyone play it. But that doesn't seem like a good... that just feels like bad, like bad balance, bad testing. You farm 2 Path with Crimson Sample Spam before those changes and got none from the guy on the last 560. Yeah, like I feel like you used to be able to find those cards. Melee rework. Nah, they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna rework Melee at this point. And Melee is actually, it's not in a horrible spot. Holy Relic of Conviction? I don't know. Oh, and also builds, yeah, they do like builds of the week and build showcase, and they always get nerfed. Why? Evo Alva also got nerfed. Got old slams. Oh man, I don't know. I'm uncertain. Or yeah, make skills unplayable like Hex Blast. Sometimes in the past what would often happen was they would nerf stuff and people would overreact, and those skills would generally, okay, sometimes they would completely kill something, sometimes they would kill a skill completely and it would be like functionally dead. Other times they would numerically nerf skills and people would overreact and say, oh, it's dead, when in reality it was fine. Whereas lately what they've been doing is a lot of like, just kill the skill completely. Yeah, it's been nonsensical. Kinetic Rain salvageable. Some people say it's salvageable, but whenever I played it, it just kind of, it just feels shitter than Kinetic Fusillade or KB. So it's like, why would you play it? That's why no one farms div cards, yeah. The nerf to KO was overdone based on the perception, ignoring the graph strength that early. Yeah, and then they just YOLO nerfed it by 80%. I don't know what's that. Do you think that Jonathan to Octavian... So is Octavian presenting the live stream? is going to be, hi, I'm Octavian from Grinding Good Games. Or Bama? Yeah, like Bama's also just dead. A new team? I don't know. That's really exciting. What? Do you guys have a link to the information about Octavian? Dude, I love Octavian. Him and Mark, maybe. Imagine they nerf kinetic fuse. Dude, at this point, I'm expecting it. Octavian joined right before Calandra, so take that as you will. No, it's his fault. Yeah, buff underused skills. Sometimes it feels they don't want us to have fun. I always used to, the whole thing of people saying like, oh, they don't want us to have fun. That used to annoy me. It always used to feel like an overreaction, but I must admit there's been a few patches recently where that does feel like the case. It doesn't feel like they are patching the game. It feels like when players discover things, the devs are almost there to be like, they're hall monitors who are saying, oh, wait, you're not supposed to do that. This sounds very negative, but it has been like that lately, where just people find strategies and they nerf it. They find strategies, they nerf it. They find strategies, they nerf it. I don't understand. Why? Oh, Detour Ladder. I really wanted to play, but I wasn't able to play this weekend. So I just figured I'd leave it. Stay up to date. Okay. You can link it to me, Cookie. You can link it here. Yeah, no, it's not Octavian's fault, guys. Yeah, the lens is different. I just hope that they stop doing it. I hope that they stop doing it. Because the nerfs in the past made sense. Previously, it felt like things were nerfed in order to expand the meta. It's like you pull this thing down, you make that other thing a bit better to redirect the community's attention to different builds, different strategies, so that people aren't just doing the same thing over and over and over by default. The thing is, if you just nerf the top end, I mean, if you just buff the bottom end without nerfing the top, people will still default to their comfort picks. So they'll say, oh, let's say Lightning Strike got a buff, but Seismic Trap is the build I've been playing for 3 leagues and I know it's really strong. They're not gonna swap necessarily from Seismic Trap to Lightning Strike. But if you nerf Lightning Strike and then buff, I mean, if you buff Lightning Strike and then nerf Seismic Trap, they're gonna be like, oh, Seismic Trap got a nerf. I'm not comfortable playing it. I'm gonna start looking elsewhere. And then that's when the meta might start shifting. Whereas the nerfs they've been doing lately is they've just been doing the chopping off the top end without then bringing up the lower end stuff to redirect people's attentions. So like with the Abyssal Hordes nerf, it's just like this Scarab is now out of the game. And it's like, so what have you put in to replace it? Nothing. Okay, so there's just less stuff to do in the game now? Yes. Why? How is that good for the game? Octavian. Yeah. He was a really big PoE streamer back in the day. Marjani, how you doing? Adventure Octavian, really? Oh. Is there any news coming out today? I don't think so. They're probably going to keep teasing. Yeah, like Neth saw, like they did during Calandra League. But isn't the problem less about the characters, but more about the content? It just sucks that one character can be good at everything. Maybe. Well, I don't think one character can be good at absolutely everything. It depends how, like, min-maxy you're getting. But yeah, you're right. GG Live will begin at 11 AM on Tuesday, February 26th. What time is this for me? Please show my local time. Then during the live stream, you'll learn about 3.28 expansion for Path of Exile, its challenge league, and other content. After the live stream, Path of Exile's game director Mark and game director Octavian will answer your questions live in a Q&A session with Ziggy. Ah, oh wait, okay, so he's doing the... Ooh, so it's Octavian and Mark, not Mark and Jonathan. A new Twitch Drops reward will be enabled for the live stream. And it's releasing on the 6th. Interesting. The reworking of mechanics. Yeah. It's okay to rework a mechanic if you're going to make it better, but if you're going to remake it and make it worse, then it's like, what's the point of that? Elementalists will be nerfed. Maybe. Build ideas for the league? Gonna have to wait for the patch notes. I'm not 100% sure yet. It's so hard to say. The Breach rework is, yeah. I don't know how many people are super happy with that. Risky Clegg? Oh, is this Let's go. Oh no, this is gonna get me demonetized. Sorry, I can't watch that. Bay class, yes. No, they didn't go Chris Wilson into making Ruthless. And if I watch that video, I'm gonna get demonetized. The thing that really irks you about the kinetic rain thing is that they just left it that way. If Mark, for example, missed it pre-launch and was afraid, okay, fine, but why not reassess after a week? Yeah, instead of waiting 5 months for the buff, probably coming this. True, why not like test it and then say, okay, wait, after a week, we've looked at it and we can buff it by X%. But they've got this thing in their head now where we don't do any balance changes after launch. Even though they do, but they won't. Why would they buff stuff after launch? Oh, you're South African too, Distortion? Nice. Heck yes. We've got quite a lot of South Africans in chat. Absolutely no one played it. I don't remember those people talking about Ruthless, really. I remember people talking kind of like a meme. I don't know. I don't really remember. Jonathan more reserved than Mark. Dead Rabbit's also South African. No, you're German. Same thing. Kind of. We have lots of Germans here. Choose your wish sounds ominous. You know they said it wasn't Sakuma, but they call it Trial of the Oasis and it's choose your own dungeon sanctum. You're gonna lose it? Oh no. It's not Trial of the Sekumas. It's Trial of the Kekumas. But the thing is, you've already got Sanctum in game, so. Rare Mob's map also worth nothing anymore, and I mean, yeah, they. Sharp PoE made a really cool kinetic Fusillade Totem champ build. Ooh. Okay, you did it to Ubers in HC for the first time. Holy shit. I'll definitely check that out. You're from Pakistan? Rabbit's Australian? Nah, he's not. Yeah, the downsides. It's gross. I don't like those. If they change the skill a week after launch, there would be uproar. There's no winning. But the thing is, there's no winning either way. So do the thing that's best for the game. That is. I don't know. Would there be uproar? Would there be uproar if they like nerfed something to death before launch? They like showcase the skill, it looks cool. They nerf it to shit before launch, no one plays it. A week after, they say, okay, we found a good spot for it. Would people be angry about that? I mean, there's always someone angry about something. The most German looking guy behind Rob. Peace, love.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
I guess the thing that's also weird is, why do they, at what stage of development do they, the thing that was really confusing about Kinetic Rain was, in Ziggity's video, he immediately determined within Act 1 that it was a massively overperforming skill. And I assume based on that, they then nerfed it. But the question then is, how did they present a skill and show the numbers for it, and then have someone seemingly play it for the first time in a video, show that it was overpowered, and then nerf it? Did they not test it before it got to that point? I think that's the reason that Kinetic Rain, that nerf was so confusing. And then the overreaction of nerfing it by like, it was like 85% before it even came out, to the point that it was just, when a skill like Kinetic Blast exists, either if you want to add a new skill to the game, it has to have a different functionality to an existing skill, or it needs to be competitive with it in terms of damage. So the reason Kinetic Fusillade was good was it had good damage, and it had especially good single target compared to KB. Whereas KB had way better coverage, it had less good single target. But then Kinetic Rain seemed to have worse single target and worse coverage than either Kinetic Fusillade or KB. So why would you ever play it? He didn't have the incorrect version of the skill. The thing is that just the numbers on it were way too high, and then they overcompensated in the other direction. They don't have the resources. I think they'll get there. It's just so hard for them to... It's so hard for them to employ people. PoE is a very, very specific game, and you need specific people to work on that game. You can't just pull anyone off the street who's like a game designer to work on PoE. You need like a massive nerd who plays PoE, who is also can do the job. You have to play a high juice mechanic to get something out of the game. And the problem is there's something between high juice mechanics and black. It kind of feels like that. Yeah, there's like a vast gap. Does he show his face? I don't think he's ever done a face reveal. Why can't they? Something probably is just them not having enough resources to properly test things. As they adjust to the 4-month cycles, you wonder if there's also philosophical difference between Jonathan and Mark. Yeah, I wonder. It is very hard to employ people outside of New Zealand, yeah. The 4-month cycle. We'll see. I mean, now they clearly need more data collection. Let's all live in New Zealand and fix the game. Let's do it. I'll book the tickets. I think he said there were only two people other than him that were able to go into the game and do rebalancing without his approval or something like that. He's going to ExileCon. He is, but I think he's going to go anonymously. So he'll wear a mask, I assume. Why don't I don't know. Booking flights to New Zealand, yes. We're going to double the population. Wait, which wait is worse? The one from the announcement to the announcement of the league, or the one from the league announcement until it actually starts? It's this week. This is the week that is the worst. The thing is, after the announcement, there's patch notes, there's like theory crafting. That's like one of the most fun weeks for PoE because there's so much stuff you can do. There's theory crafting, looking at strategies. As a content creator, like you have to put out so many videos, write guides. This week, this is the pain week where you have to really like drag out content, find content. Normally what people do is they'll just watch other people's videos. A mask. Thing is, he can't pretend to be someone else, because the second he bumps into anyone else and introduces himself, he's gonna hit them with a "Hey guys," and then they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, it's Fubgun." So he won't be able to hide it. That was self-inflicted. No one forced him to make a separate game. Could have seen a campaign for PoE 1. No, I mean PoE 2 has a point, man. PoE 2 needs to, it makes sense that it exists. If they just added a new campaign and like rebooted graphics, I don't think that would have had the same impact. The thing is, PoE 2 is pulling in a brand new audience of new people. And if they just done like 4.0, I don't think it would have been the same thing. 2 campaigns, 1 game. I still don't understand what the point of that is. Affliction levels of map loot. Yes. I actually could go with that. I could go with that. What are your thoughts on King's March, Genesis Tree, and ground loot? Genesis Tree sucks shit. I want it removed from the game. I really don't like it. King's March, TBH, same thing. Like it's chores. It's tedious, boring chores in order to get loot. I don't like it. I don't like having to do like gold rotas, or if you're not farming tier 17s, it's really hard to keep up with the gold. And then you have to like go to your thing, give them the maps, then you come back the next morning after going to bed to check your maps, and on the first fucking map your guys got captured by a boss that takes 3 seconds to kill. But somehow they can run tier 17s, and then you have to send them off, and then you have to go through like 36 pages of loot to like then click the thing into your... Get that shit out. I don't... No one likes it. No one likes it. It sucks. And the other thing is, people will say, yeah, but you don't need to do shippers, or you don't need to do mappers. But if you're not doing it, man, like you're missing out on a lot. And ground loot, we'll see. You nabbed first and dipped. I saw. It is fucking random. The thing is, go on. I don't think that there's anything that can necessarily prepare you for doing what they are doing. There's no roadmap or guideline for this, so there's a lot of growing pains that come along with it, and they will learn. We're just going through the awkward phase right now where they're trying to figure it out. You became a big PoE 1 fan because of PoE 2. Initially you loved PoE 2, now you're way more interested in PoE 1. There you go. A lot of people are like that. Feels like it's treading over similar ground PoE 1 did, even precursors. I think, let's wait for 0.5. Without ship, you'd have no divines at all in SSF.
Hello, 34 months.
Meme Moose.
Wow, nearly 1 whole year.
34 months. Thank you, Meme Moose. We're so close to having a baby. The thing is, so Boreal, that's the whole point. Without shipments, I'd have no divines at all in SSF. You think you've got like 10 or 20 off the ground and you play much longer than a typical PoE tradie? That's the whole point. That's the whole point, is people are saying they've now redistributed loot to shit like King's March, where now you need to send off mappers and shippers and all of that shit so that you can get your divines. And then in order to compensate, they've like reduced the amount of ground loot. That's not necessarily 100% true. In Snap's video, he goes over how the new rare monster modifiers also change how loot drops, but then I think they've also made it so that because things like King's March exist, you're getting way less. So if they got rid of that shit, put it back in like the game, then you would be finding those divines just, you know, playing the game and not playing like cookie clicker whatever idle game. You feel like it's a little harsh. Oh right. Yeah, I agree with you, Guitarholic, there. You hate it? Hopefully you come back to it, Holmesy. I still like it. I'm not a PoE 2 hater. When people are like, I want 1.0 with all the sentences, is them changing definition. I don't know. I'm not a PoE 2 hater, Andy. But yeah, we'll see what happens with 0.5. Rather have that every monster drops something than play, yes, the mini games. And there's everything is a mini game now. Guitaraholic DM Mini called it like the gotchification, where it's you get the incubator or you get the womb gift and you take it to the tree and then you click the thing and then you push the button and then you get the loot, or you farm the gold and then you farm the ore or the wheat, and then you wait, and then you go to your ship and you click a whole lot of wheels and click, 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 and then you send it off to that place, and then your shippers go out, and then one of them falls overboard, one of them gets eaten by like a fucking cactus in the sea, and then one of them like marries a lady on the other side, gets murdered in a bar fight, and then your loot comes back, and then you get your thing. That's like, dude, no one wants that. Warcraft 3 hot take. Wait, we got a hot take. I can't see the hot take. Shit, I lost it. Oh, hot take? Oh, you guys are talking about PoE 1 and PoE 2. Right. You just want old people. You wish there were more cactus in the sea mini stories. Yeah. Oh, true. What if you could go on the boat? Yeah. King's March is really good for casual players. I think French Frog, the thing that people are saying is just get rid of King's March and put that loot that you would have got from King's March back into the game. Just put that back into the game, and then you find that stuff playing the game, rather than like, you know, I'm gonna do some gold rotors so that I have money for my mappers, so that I can send off maps and like buy the best guys for sending off to do maps, and then I will give them all my maps, and then I will click the button, and then they get sent off, and then I have to click through 12 pages of... It's just chores. Do casuals even min-max game much? I don't think so, but they feel bad that they don't. They feel bad that they don't, because they're aware, or even... There's even with me, I'll be a week into a league and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I need to just like, I just need to do it. I just need to get the gold and like sort out my King's March so that now it is done, and then I can, you know, not have to worry about it. But there's always that moment of like, oh, I have to do this boring fucking thing so that I can get the loot. I don't think that, there does need to be friction in the game, but there doesn't, yeah, it's like daily Varici, right? It's like your daily missions where it's like, I have to do this boring thing to get the thing so that I can get the loot. What's something them from putting loot back in the game while keeping King's March as is? King's March doesn't feel as outrageous as people claim it is. King's March is really good. Once you start doing like consistent 50 mil shipments, it's like, it's really good. And especially early on. They can just do a gold road and get King's March working. That's the thing, but it's just like, it's so boring. It's so boring. The crew said, find your own damn ground loot, and started a mutiny. Yes. Amazing. I want them all to, I want there to be a mutiny in King's March. And that's the other thing, is gold rotors are expensive as shit. Last league they were going for like 9 dibs for 3 million gold or something. That's a lot. So you need to have that gold to even get started. Unless you just do it at a slower pace. With the gold you can make more dibs just flipping. You could. Or profit crafting. True. Is this a dark pattern, Jaime? Found it really satisfying to occasionally get divines from microchipments in SF. That's, yeah, Lolcohol, I think it does have a place in the game. It's just that it's kind of a lot better than a whole lot of other stuff. Oh, King's March on console. Ugh. There will be no gold sink. There are actually gold sinks. If you do a lot of trading, you burn through a lot of gold, but there might be other, they could add new gold sinks. But that's true, is like King's March is the primary gold sink. But maybe you have it that it primarily provides tattoos or rune grafts, or I don't know, it like mainly provides something else rather than raw currency. Like keep the raw currency in the base game, have shipments and stuff for more interesting stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe you get a Svalin. It's too cold. I don't like mechanic, therefore it is a... The criticism video did irreparable damage to AOP discourse. I don't like mechanic equals dark pattern. True. Kingdom should require silver or pirate coins. You should be able to find silver only from interacting with the mechanic. Gold shouldn't be the currency. What else would you use it for? Kjorn's got a new gold rotor. We wake up and it's Ritual League again. I'm playing Cold BV with a Legacy Explode chest. Oh, dude. I miss him. 3.28 BV Sada. We'll see. They kind of nukes it. People always cry. As a casual player, no. Getting King's March going itself was a several hour investment, which you could spend, you know, maybe playing a mechanic you actually like. Exactly, right? There's like... Every portal taxes 100k gold. There you go. Just mapping for 2 hours gives you enough to send 100 shipments all day long. If you're like running... It depends which content you're running. If you're doing Alk and Go, you're not getting that much gold. You're really not getting that much gold. Ah. My top hopes copes for 3.28. I do, with all the discussion about ground loot, I do hope that they address that. Make it so that there are more fun strategies to do in the end game. Make it so that there's more experimentation is allowed. And that existing things... One of the things that's really frustrating right now is it feels like when you discover something cool, you think, okay, cool, I've got this one thing that I can do this for this one league, and then it's gone. Rather than, oh, this is a really cool strategy. Maybe I can start adding this into my repertoire of strategies that are really good on league starts. Or I can do this strat, this strat, this strat, this strat, and then like work my way into Abyss Hordes and do that. But now it feels like, even with Kinetic Fusillade, I found this awesome new skill. I played it, we did a whole lot of work on it with people like Nemrod, and it's such an exciting new thing, but in the back of my head, I can't get excited about it for 3.28 because I just think, well, they're gonna nuke the shit out of it. They might not. They might not. I might be a little bit cynical at the moment, but there is that feeling in the back of my head of like, is this something that I can be excited about for future leagues, or is it something that they're gonna, for whatever reason, determine is not balanced and therefore needs to not be brought in line, but effectively be removed from the game? Yeah, the snap video is so good. 50k to 100k, 500k damage by the time you got to bosses. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was super OP either. One of the things that made it really strong for bossing was the grafts and the stacking of more maximum damage with the volatility support and also with the jolting Esh graft. So you were getting a whole lot of more maximum damage, and then you could combine that with Wreaths in Light, which gave you lucky damage. So you would massively increase the top end of your lightning damage, and then you would roll twice, and then you would generally get just an overall much higher damage. You take those out, and then I feel like KF's it's going to be very, very strong, but it's not going to be like, it's not broken. Although, bear in mind that there will be something different next league that compensates for that loss of power of grafts. There's going to be, I don't know, there'll be something. How some items in the currency skyrockets too fast for casual players, making it enjoyable, but I think that's a super hard thing to balance, Frog, because there does need to be some chase stuff in the game, and the economy is part of the game. Like, I don't know how you balance that, but yeah, the economy can outpace someone who can't play a lot, and that does feel shit. But the thing is, there's a lot of stuff in the game that you absolutely can do without those best in slot items that you might not be able to keep up with. Yeah, you have to rush tier 17s to get high currency generation. I wonder what they're going to do with tier 17s. Because tier 17s, the thing I don't like about tier 17s is also that the layouts are all extremely narrow corridors. Except for the one. The one is a little bit more open. What, Citadel? So that if you want to do something like, I don't know, Legion, it doesn't really work. That's true, Mama Moose. Yeah, now you just hide those things. You're not sure that KF will get nuke. It's not that busted. I don't think it's that busted, but that's the thing is I don't understand. At this point, I don't understand their balanced philosophy. Their balanced philosophy feels all over the place at the moment, where I can't really pinpoint a through line that makes it make sense. So that's why I don't feel confident about kinetic fuse a lot. Whereas previously, if something was massively overperforming, like let's say you've got like 90% of the hardcore player base is all playing Seismic Trap, then you go like, okay, it makes sense that this is going to get a nerf. But then they will hit things that feel like they don't really deserve it. Or like in the case of Kinetic Rain or Elemental Infusions in PoE 2, where they showcase this skill and then they kill it before it even comes out based on theory crafting done by streamers. That's why it's like, oh, did they see my video? It's your birthday.
People hate today, it's my birthday, feels birthday man.
Oh, nice. Everyone say happy birthday, Fiaf. Thanks for the 19 months up. For me, what should be done in tier 17 to remove the multiplier and create an invitation for tier 17s? There'll be more fragments on the market, hence more boss kills and lower chase item price. So have it that the main thing you're getting out of tier 17s is the fragments. Bring back DD. True. DD finally got nerfed, but like everyone was playing that shit for a while. Expedition terrified them of doing just general good balance pass. Instead, they decapitate the outliers without changing up anything else. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is now they like remove without adding. If I were, look, I'm no game designer, all right, but if I did have a game, I think I would say if you're gonna let's say remove the top 10 most popular scarabs, you then need to replace them with 10 other scarabs. Because yeah, I've said it a few times this stream, but it feels like there's constantly just chipping away at the meta, be it with like build diversity and stuff and strategies, without replacing it. Why do you think that so many builds for the last few leagues have been like strength stacker or int stacker? The number of times I got asked by people, oh, why are you not doing int stacking on kinetic fuse a lot? It's because I've done it. It's like the same shit on a slightly different build. You basically got the identical build with the same gear and the same passive tree. You've just got like a different gem in, and like that's boring. Everything else is the same. And they keep like cutting away at ways of scaling and stuff to the point that, yeah, it's not like, oh, well, int-stacking exists, but are they going to now nerf int-stacking? And then, I don't know, then what are people going to do? Who knows?
A familiar face.
Don't you follow Shulfi? I didn't finish Neo. Velatus. Weird idea. Merge Kirak mission strats into tier 17 and juice them to the guilds and detach tier 17 from the Alice Pass tree. Whoa. Ooh, remove tier 17 from the Alice tree. Your main gripe with PoE right now is the Alice tree. You find the triangle tree is boring and bland after all this time. They should remove mod effect to make the nodes on the tree a bit more juice. It might not be the solution that works, but you do find the triangle tree being the default. Oh, you mean like the top hat with the increased effect? Look, I'm hopeful for the next league. I think I think it will be a good one, but like I said, the underlying there's just like weird stuff. I've never really felt like this about the game, where I obviously love PoE and I have a lot of faith in GG, but there's been just, it feels like something is different that I can't quite put my finger on, especially in terms of balance and stuff. That like leaves me feeling a little bit unsettled. Overall, like the game's still going to be really good, but I don't have that same confidence of, let's say, like with Kinetic Fusillade again. I don't have that same confidence of like, oh, this is a really fun skill. I hope I can play it next league. I have the feeling in the back of my head of like, am I going to be able to play this next league? Or if there's a strategy you find, is it going to work next league? They spent the social capital and they aren't filling back up, so now it feels a little low. Maybe you're right, because I feel extremely resistant to overreacting in the way that a lot of other people do. People tend to have these like snap negative reactions to any change without looking at the larger context. So one thing will change and they'll be like, oh no, the whole game's ruined. Rather than like, okay, this makes sense in the context of XYZ. That used to leave me feeling a little bit more secure, where, okay, they made this change and maybe this change isn't that good, but they're doing XYZ, so that kind of makes sense in this context. Therefore, like, I'm not too stressed about it. Whereas things seem to be in these little pockets of, instead of like an overall picture that makes sense, there's like balance changes being made that are just reflexive and not obviously, at least to me, they don't make a whole lot of sense in the broader context of the game. So there are two major titles that they need to be creative in, and it takes a toll. Probably, yeah. Just changing fragments on tier 17 today. 20 to 30 div hour strat. Yeah. So something like that could be good. Intermediate gear, like focus amulet, like half stats. Yeah, the feeling is that we can't league start with new skills, but better start safe and test later. Yeah. The announcement stream is on Thursday. Thursday plus 7 hours from now. They haven't done any big overhauls in the last 2 years. Maybe you're right, actually. You're right. They haven't done any like big endgame Atlas updates or anything. Exactly. Zachmo, yeah, after League launch is always going to be fun. Like, a lot of this stuff is nitpicky. I don't want it to come across as being like doomer or negative. It's more just sort of, I don't know, I'm just like a little bit confused. There comes the performance for me has been so bad this league as well. I don't know. Mark is overworked and simply doesn't have the mental bandwidth with the amount of work. Yeah, perhaps. The fact that they're getting Octavian on, I'm fairly confident. Everything being said, I'm fairly confident this league announcement is going to be extremely hype. Like, it's going to be very exciting, and I think there's going to be a lot of unexpected changes, especially with regards to endgame. So I'm really hopeful about it, but there's still a lot of question marks about what's going to come next and what the balance pass is going to look like. The Genesis tree, I hate the Genesis tree. Genuinely, I think it sucks. I don't want it. I'd be happy if they just removed it. Oh god. They remove Atlas instead you have the Genesis tree where you focus on different strats. No. Remove tree in King's March. You're guessing no changes to King's March? The thing is, King's March, look, they can leave King's March in the game as long as, like I said, as long as they add things to the game that are fun to do, rather than saying, all right, let's go through the most played strategies last league. All right, people are doing Abyss Hordes, they were doing whatever this or that, they were farming Exiles, they were doing this, they were doing this. Okay, cut those out. Like, that'll suck. If they instead go, hey guys, here's 50 reworked Scarabs, and you read them and they're good and interesting, then it's like, oh shit, okay, that's exciting. Like, don't worry, you can leave King's March as it is if there's a whole lot of cool new stuff. But if the league announces and they're like, all right guys, last league you were playing, all right, let's just check the list, All Flame, Ember, Scarabs. I mean, All Flame, Ember, what are the ones that drop like shitloads of Scarabs? The All Flame Ember, okay, those are out the game. And then what else? The Gilded All Flame, those are out the game. And then Harbinger, okay, that was quite popular. That's also getting removed. And then you go, okay, wait, so now there's the last stuff again. Blight, oh yeah, you guys were doing Blight with, Blight, yep, that's gone. Don't do that. Oh yeah, like... the one that makes items rarity not... oh, All Flame of the Ethereal, yes. Yeah. Do I have another community beside Discord? I don't. Really. Delete the game, just keep King's March? Yes. You think King's March is fun? The only reason it feels awful that your map is get more ground loot than you do? Exactly. Why the excitement for a new league then, given all the concerns? Because... overall, I've been playing this game for 13 years, and the overall trajectory of Path of Exile is generally up. Where, even if there are good times and bad times, the good times do keep coming. And a league sought, like I said, this is all nitpicky stuff. Like, overall, the game is at like a, even if it's like an 8 out of 10, if you have a shit league, it's still a 6 out of 10, and then it's still a lot of fun. And the vibe and the collective consciousness of a league side is always so exciting that it's always going to be a good time. It's always going to be a good time. If the league is a complete shit show, it's also a good time, because then there's like a whole lot of shit on Reddit. There's streamers crying. The clip compilation channels, they eat good during a bad league. There's always something to be like interested or excited about. That's like the ultimate cope, but like the game generally gets better over time. And I think with all the concerns now about ground loot, this is like the primary topic that streamers are talking about, then I think it is something they'll be aware of. Yeah, it's actually Troll GG at time you get upset with the decisions. They work hard. They don't want the game to be shit. Yeah, exactly. It'll reach a boiling point where it's like everyone is angry, and then they're like, okay, fine, we'll fix it. And then the game's like amazing. And the base game is so fun. The biggest gripe you have currently is that the shipment and mappers drop everything. Yes. Yeah. I agree with that, Redlom. Like, fossils. Great place to farm fossils. Delve, it's alright, but you could also just get your fossils from Legion. You get it from, like, shipments. Can you get them from shipments? I don't know. But you can get them from, like, Maven chisels from your mappers. You get your fossils from Legion. You can farm like the rare fossils by flipping them with Harvest. By the way, really good way to make currency is flipping fossils and essences and shit with Harvest. And breach zones. If you don't say anything, they won't address anything. That's the thing, is that like they do listen. They do listen. And if everyone's freaking out, they'll pay attention. Tusion. Yeah, Tusion's another one. Exactly. Like the week before a reveal and the launch is always so hype and fun, even if the league's a 6 out of 10. It's always so much fun. Simulacrum. There you go. Farm Syndicate on league side. Everyone of the the Katarina bloodline. Hyson Delhi. That's yeah, exactly. But it's like I would say get that shit out of there. Like make Delve drop fossils. If you do that, then immediately that like opens up an entire avenue of the game where it's like Delve Delve is really good for farming fossils, which are fairly scarce because they only drop in Delve. So now Delve is a really interesting strategy that makes a lot of currency. Therefore, these 4 or 5 builds are now interesting to play and look at again, where it's like, why would you... I mean, Delve is still good, but only like really deep. Everything should drop exclusive loot. Time to end the crossover? Yeah. Can I turn myself a bit louder? I can't really. I need to buy a... Dude, I need to buy a cloud lifter. I phoned a music place and I've finally found one, but they are fucking expensive, dude. This thing costs 4,000 rand. 4,000 South African rand. So I need to buy one of these. For fuck's sake. I'll probably just fork it over. And then what I can do is that's a 25 dB boost, and then I can just like retune everything up. Sabinatas and Fossey, thanks for the follow. Am I missing chat? 600% volume extension? Yeah. But the thing is, I do need to boost it. Have I ever tried to make the physical damage based on impale and bleed? For a long time. It is good. Aren't there bleed slam builds that are really good at the moment? From like FaZe has one. The thing you worry about, their vision and player's vision is kind of different for the game, which is worrying. They wanted new Breach, players want the old Breach, not everybody. Yeah, I know what you mean. Where they... Racist dollar, you know, racist? Yeah. You're prepared to be banned for this, but D4's latest 2 seasons have been better designed than PoE 1's last 2. It's just kill mobs to get more loot. I think, yeah. Ugh. Impale's insane now. Bleed slams is meh. Good for HDNS stuff, but not trade. Okay. League Side is very profitable for streamers. Yeah. It's good. It is a big boost. If you guys want, you can you don't have to wait for League Side to sub to your local streamer. Overlapping is also loot's good in your opinion. There are still Delve exclusive things like Faceted Fossil and Prime Resos. The thing is, those aren't even exclusive. You can get Faceted Fossils from flipping fossils with Harvest. You can also get Prime Resonators from... You can get Prime Resonators from Daily Rewards, from Simulacrum. You can get it from Ritual. So there's no real... The exclusive rewards are things like the Delve only drop mod rares, which are not that meta at the moment. Oh, Retlon, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you. Oh, Tujan also sells them.
A familiar face.
More fossils, exactly. More fossils come from not Delve than Delve. As much as pay to win Torchlight Infinite is, it was having a good league for the past 4 or 5 leagues. They have a proper balance of ground loose and league mechanics. Games are super pay to win. Hero Siege. I'm excited for 3.28. I think 3.28 is going to be good. Daily Orbs. Yeah, Daily Orbs also. It's like, what is this? Are we going to watch this Fubgun video? Hey guys. From within their respective league mechanics. That'd be so cool, right? Imagine they did that. That'd be a crazy change. If they made it so that, like, essences only come from Essence. Fossils only come from Delve. It would suck for SSF players, but I think it might be a really interesting change to the game. Where... if you can only get fossils from Delve, then suddenly there's going to be people who are like, oh shit, I'm gonna play Delve this league because fossils are going to be high value, and now I don't know, RF is what do people even play in Delve? Like early RF and then into like mana sackers and shit. It's a good video. Okay. Slams. What does Sanctum get? Ooh, Sanctum. I don't know. Currency plus Ocean, yeah. Zenith. Delve only drop mods are not as popular as they should be. Yeah, it's fine because you're able to craft a despair on. There you go. You play Delve anyway. I wonder if they would ever do that. Huh. If that Holy Hammer skill's any good, I hope so. Fingers crossed. Please. Alright. Please be good. Please be good hammer skill. And the thing we need to also is Ziggity, please don't play any of the new skills in the test. Please. Make jewels come from Sanctum. They could, yeah, they could make it so that there is something that comes from Sanctum. And bring back Infinite Heist. That'll be fun. It's 2036. I'm logging in 4.28 to play slams again. Ooh. Fractured Fizz taken as chaos? 3.28 BV. BV Pathfinder? Oh, no plus attack time. Do they add that to... Is that in PoE 1? I don't think they'll add that to PoE 1. Guardian rework. Didn't they rework Guardian a few leagues ago? No. I'm just joking. I'm just memeing. But the thing is, like, after Ziggy's video came out, they nerfed it. Oh, I love PV. They can just toss tiered currencies into Sanctum. There you go. That's clever. Yeah. Guys, we need to get Renee Diffie. Renee Diffie on the balance scene. Basically plus attack time, or is it scalable? I don't know. I actually don't know exactly how it works. Oh, as a community, I think it's a meme, Satchmo. Like, everyone loves Ziggy. You can't not love Ziggy. And time to buff bows. It's Bow League. Maybe next league will be Bow League. I just want to grab some more water. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes, alright? Bill's in Frackia. Don't go anywhere. Or else.
and welcome back to the channel. My name is Amasid, and today we are turning in 50
I'm
sets
back.
of the Shepherd Sandals.
Wake up!
Now, I paid just about 3 divines for these. I think maybe.
Okay. I went to go grab I made myself some tea because I'm yapping my brains out today and I don't want to lose my voice before 3.28. Otherwise we're gonna have another repeat of last league. Dude, my voice was so freaking destroyed. Which video was it where my voice was just so dead? I think it was this. Oi. Was it this one? My voice was so fucked. I do have honey. How's it, everyone? It's Lolcohol filling in for Laryngitis Boy, who is still currently. There was one where I actually spoke, and it was so bad. Was it this one? My voice was fucked. Catch your head to go on. The Ziz part where I said I actually had to type when I said Zizzerin, I actually had to type scissor.
How's it, everyone?
Ugh. Dude, this is how I sounded for like a week before league start. It was such a fucking disaster.
How's it, everyone? My voice is completely fucked. Cahol.
Oh, it
I'm gonna
hurts.
let a TTS
Dude, it was so bad. Jesus.
explain why I'm not playing BV because I can't talk. Forgive me, but
It hurts. It fucking hurts to listen to. I don't want another one of that. Yeah, that was like a. Oh my god, it was so horrible. Simpler crafting mechanics. Most veteran players do what they. There are simpler crafting mechanics with stuff like essences. Essences in the crafting bench can get you a really long way. If you have like a fracture, essence, crafting bench. Damn. Before league start, I actually don't get ill that often. It was just that my voice was shot because I don't know what happened. I think I like spoke too much. Yeah, but streamers a lot of streamers are perpetually diseased. I suspect it's because they don't leave the house very often, or yeah. Another one. Okay, let's watch this video from Fubgun. Hey guys, everyone, give me your best Fubgun impression in chat. I need to see some umlauts.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. So I want to make a video going over the current state of ground loot in Path of Exile 1. I've been wanting.
Oh fuck! I think Invector wins. Hey guys. This guy's really good at that impression. All right. Gotchification video? Yeah. Guitaraholic? Yeah. I'll have to think about it if I'm gonna do that. It's exciting. Okay.
To make this video for a while, and I feel like it's about time I do make this video with 3.28 coming up. So in my opinion, ground loot currently in PoE 1 is probably the worst it has ever been. Probably rivaling that of like a Kalandra. I want to go over the ground loot history, why it's so bad right now, some solutions, and start some discussion on this. I really hope 3.28 can address a lot of these concerns. So before we get to any discussions and why ground loot's so terrible, let me just do a quick map showcase. We're doing an 8 mod tier 16. Now I'm doing tier 16 over 0.5s of 17s because these don't have more multipliers, and I do feel like more multipliers contribute to the very bad state of ground loot currently. Yeah, regular tier 16, fully 8 modded map. We just have additional rare monsters, magic pack size, and 100 traders. Just to buff the base loot of the map with max map effect and pretty much mostly max quant and just some scarab nodes. Okay, this showcase should show you why I think the current state of loot is just horrendous in this game. We will be using altars, but we won't be clicking the tile loot altars as that is tile loot and not, base ground loot. So this filter does show 1 chaos orb. I'm using my tier 17 filter, which shows like 1C and up.
Dude, Snap's video was like one of the best videos. One of the best PoE videos I've ever seen. It was so good.
So let's see what we drop.
All right, we got a Jungle Valley map. That's like worth 2 chaos.
I guess I'll pick up all the loot just so we can see at the end.
All right, pranks on you guys. The filter's just hiding all the divine orbs.
I do expect to drop a couple of scarabs because we are spec'd into all the scarab nodes. Yeah, I'll clear this map real quick. and you'll more or less see why I think the current state of loot is just horrendous in the game. Of course, breach wall still in the game. Hopefully that is removed in 3.28.
Okay, I don't know how strict his filter is. I assume he said it's his tier 17, so it's probably fairly strict, but holy shit, like nothing is showing up.
We'll take quant here just to buff the base even more.
He will update the filter. Oh, okay, all right. In the video.
Rarity, I guess, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because like another thing that I remember doing is like altars. Altars feel like a really good source of loot, not just like killing things, but it's like, oh, you got to fish for the altar that like gives you the chaos orbs, and then you find chaos orbs, or the ambush scarab thing, and then you find the scarabs. It's not like just they don't just like drop. It's always like, oh, you got the thing, and then you click thing, and then you get the loot. He did show that he did show a little bit of his filter, but he doesn't show. But spoiler alert, he is gonna update filter. But so far, not a single thing has fallen.
So that is pretty much the full map besides the map boss. And as you can see, like I said, I'm showing chaos orbs and a full, max quant, max.
Not a single chaos orb dropped.
Tier 16 map.
True.
We didn't even drop a
Last
single chaos orb.
Not okay.
At
That's
200% increased quant, 58% pack size. We can't even drop a single chaos orb in a pretty much regular max juice tier 16.
That's so fucking
That
bad.
is pretty much the current state of ground loot. I'll just go down my filter stretch real quick just to see what else has dropped. This is probably showing quite a bit. But let's see if going down this filter tier even shows anything else. Looks like the answer is no. So even my base default tier 16 filter, that is not that strict whatsoever. This is like half a chaos and up. We didn't drop anything that's worth showing my filter.
What do we got? Some gold, a bunch of rares.
Real quick.
Wait, were there any like
Not strict whatsoever. This is like half a chaos and up. We didn't.
Okay, there's transmutes, infernal cry. This is, yeah, man. Like last league, I really struggled with strategies because the thing was, I had so much fun in Mercenaries League with playing with strategies, and then 3.27, the tree made a whole lot of strategies irrelevant, and then they cut out a whole lot of scarabs, and then I didn't feel like, I constantly had this feeling like I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do, and I didn't realize how bad this. I think it was sort of like frog. What do you call like boiling pot frog in boiling water? English help, you know what I mean? But it was like a slow, gradual change over time to the point that you don't notice it. Whereas during Calandra League, it was like a drastic 1-to-1 where you go, oh, holy shit, like nothing's dropping. Whereas now it's been like slowly changing over time. 30 to 50% buff? I don't know, man. Frog in boiling water. You know what I mean?
Drop anything that's worth showing my filter. But real quick, I got this at my stash tab.
Okay.
This filter is showing chisels, baubles, GCPs, and even orb fusions. And once
Not even one. Not even a fusing. They're trying to get stuff behind league mechanics, but then again, what is the point of doing maps at all if only league stuff makes you assemble some money? Yeah. The average T16 experience does it?
again, it's also showing chaos orb. As you can see,
But I mean, I had the same feeling too, where I was like, I couldn't think of a strategy to do, and it felt like everything I tried kind of just felt a bit shit.
we full cleared this map and max juice, 200% quant. We didn't drop a single of any of those items. We dropped 3 scarabs, 2 jungle valleys, and a Solemnation div card. That is the current state of ground loot. Now,
You mean to go through your gacha framing? Okay, I'll do after
I
this.
hope with this showcase you understand where I'm coming from.
Wait, we have to confirm the results. We must confirm the results. Is Fubgun lying to us as usual? Fubgun. Is he lying? Assimilation? Assimilation. You know one thing in Q&A when Ziggy asked anything about it, Michael B, we did not change anything. We'll see. Who gets a mirror off? My first 2 mirrors I found off stream. During 3.26 was the first time I found a mirror on stream. Yeah, like I was doing bosses. That's how desperate I was. How's this filter? This is. Wait, let's just grab some like basic shit. Also, they need to fix this. This thing of the drop down not working. Okay, wait. Let's get like a ship yard. Let's slam it. Oh frick. Is this even the right build? Wait, am I missing gear? Oh, what the fuck? There we go. We got this. Let's check out our Atlas tree. Okay, we got the top hat on. Quantity. Let's give it a quality. We gotta test it. Were we being lied to by the Fubgun? Oh wait. What did he do? Which scarabs did he use at the start?
Ah, a familiar face.
He went with monstrous lineage. Okay. Fragments. Fuck, where are my fragments? Here. These ones. And then he went with hunted traders. Okay. Activate. Skylink, thanks for follow. Imagine I get like 2 divines. Oh, we got something. 4 ambush scarabs. Wait, the game's extremely loud, sorry. Guys, we found 4 ambush scarabs. Expedition scarab. I find a mirror, can you imagine? Oh, lesser eldritch ichor. This loot filter is literally showing. Okay, we got 4 orbs of fusing. Can we find a chaos orb? Okay, we do have beasts in here. Whoa, 4 jeweler's orbs. Can we find a chaos? Oh god. Of course. Hi, Fortress. I know. A ruby flask? How did... Oh no. Wait, how did I not realize it was this bad? Have we just become desensitized? Okay. We got 5 chromatic orbs. And we got some scarabs from the... Oh. Oh wait, it is bad. I think I found... The expedition scarabs were coming from the altar. But everything else? We didn't find a chaos? 4 jewelers orbs. I think I got 4 jewelers orbs and 4 fusings and 4 ambush scarabs. Oh no. Oh, and the 3 holy fuck. How did I become desensitized? It's like so obvious now that it's been pointed out. Is this why the game felt so shit this league? There's just like fucking nothing is dropping on the ground. I found 4 jewelers and 4 fusings and 4 ambush scarabs. That's probably, I mean, the ambush scarabs are probably worth a little bit. And then a map.
Ah, a familiar face.
5 orgs. Eldritch Shiler's loot, don't do, you're right.
Ah, a familiar face.
League Mechanic collect, you're right. You've been conditioned to go do League Mechanic collect loot. And then when they make the League Mechanic shit. Biney and Slacks, thanks for follow. This example of terrible. This feels like an unusual drop. This is probably worth like, I don't know, 8 chaos or something. Huh. This league killed about 80% of the other mechanic. Exactly. And then on top of that, like ground, just normal base loot's bad. So, you're right. That Jade Flask. I mean, you probably just, if that's an I-85 Jade Flask, that's probably worth more. God damn. How do we get desensitized to this shit? It's just that our brains have been programmed to not notice. Yeah, Snap Studio pointed out that we drop scarabs to sell scarabs to buy scarabs. Huh. Okay. It did used to be fine. That's why you're stuck in Delph for leagues.
It's just awful. It is completely terrible. It probably...
Because no one was talking about this before, like, a week ago, were they? But now, Snap's videos came out, and it seemed to highlight a lot of this. And now everyone's talking about it. Huh. Adopt tablets into PoE 1. I think I prefer scarabs. No, we didn't check it. I watched it off stream. We can maybe watch it a bit later.
Needs almost an entire
they
work
talk
at
about
this
a lot?
point.
Okay.
When you can do a 200% quant tier 16 and not even drop a single orbit fusion, there is something seriously wrong with this game. So let's go over all the reasons why ground loot is bad. Why did ground loot come to this point? But let's go over all the reasons real quick. So first things first is that we lost a lot of map effect in 3.27. I think like 30 to 34% map effect was lost. This is the lowest base map effect / quant we've ever had since the core Atlas tree has went.
I remember thinking that people were overreacting about this. And thinking like, because map effect's kind of annoying, man. Especially once you start getting shitty mods like less recovery. And then you run the map and it's like, now you have 98% less recovery. And it's like, god damn, like now these map mods are so brutal. And then they reduce it, but then... Oh, and wrist scarab. That's another thing they removed. The thing is, it's all just been layers of bandages and bandages and bandages. Yeah, map mod effect is a really lame way to need to schedule it. That's the thing, but this is another example of them removing something without replacing it. So it's just like, okay, we're removing map mod effect because it's a shitty way to scale loot drops. But then they don't put anything else in to compensate, and then it's just like, they keep doing this where it's just like, cut back, cut back, cut back, cut back, cut back, and then just like, don't put anything else to compensate.
Core. So yeah, we are at an all-time low in terms of just raw loot drops.
And quant player removal. That's true. Like they removed player quants, which was, yeah, not everyone was doing it, but two-zone SSF runs. That's when you notice.
Really low map effect and quant values now. Another one was a 3.25. We lost player quant. While not everyone's favorite, the game was balanced around player quant for over a decade, and removing player quant with no compensation was just a straight.
Exactly. This is the thing. This is the thing. The underline for all of this is without compensation. It's always without compensation. This has been removed without compensation, and you do that 20 times, and then like you end up like this. But you're right. They removed base monster quant to make space for conversions. Then they removed the conversions. And then it's like, wait, what? But then they didn't fucking put anything back.
Loot nerf. And now there's also been multiple farm nerfs.
I am now a PoE hater, angry boy. Clip it and send it to the clip channels. Lolcohol is now a negative Nancy.
Especially in 3.27 with no compensation back. So in 3.27, we had the Abyss Hordes nerf, we had the Alpha Strat nerf, we had the Breach Strat nerf because Breach got reworked, but that was ultimately a ground loot nerf because the new Breach doesn't drop ground loot, and that pretty much only left Blight as the only real ground loot farm left, and a lot of people pretty much hate Blight.
But Blight isn't even... I guess Blight does count as ground loot, right? Where it's, Yeah, I guess it's like you kill all the big monsters and then they go in the middle, right? We're not talking about the little like pustules or whatever.
Endgame farmers,
but everyone
hates
not that
it. Fun playing out.
And the other thing is that it's really fucking hard, man. The like juiced blight is really hard, and it's also really laggy. Like you need to have a good computer and an insanely good build. you got to get Blight Plant to go do a secondary mechanic. One though you kind of had was maybe they want to add Atlas Jewels or something like idols into the tree, and maybe they wanted to kind of remove all sorts of quantity monsters. So it's not to be the same. Maybe that's a conspiracy. I think people have been thinking about jewels on the Atlas Path tree for a while, but the thing that people keep coming back to is it's going to end up like idols, where it's just the thing that's really great about the Atlas Passive tree is that it is completely communal. It is like a deterministic thing that's shared across all players. You don't have to first go out and now like craft a jewel for your Atlas tree before you can do XYZ strat. And that's great. That's great. So you keep the Atlas tree is static, and then you have the variables in the scarabs and the other things that you can affect it, but having that baseline static thing that all players have the same level of power, I think it's good. So I don't know about adding. I used to think jewels would be cool for the tree, but now I'm less in favor of it after idols. Yeah, the loot explosion on the pump.
Ah, a
1
familiar
FPS all the
face.
time, doing max
Rattle,
juice plates.
Lolcohol.
Do hope this is not really a thing in 3.28.
I do get why you think it would be cool though. I also used to think it would be cool, but it's
And a fourth big reason is stuff like King's March, the Genesis Tree, and Gold Goblin heavily devalues all ground loot in the game at all stages. You know, getting Divines, Raw Chaos, the perfect gear from Genesis Tree, and extremely good gear from Gambling, just devalues everything that drops on the ground. And the last reason is the game is currently balanced around more loot multipliers, which makes it when you don't run them feel terrible.
True.
Because you're not running 200%, 300% more currency, more scarabs. You're just not really dropping loot whatsoever, because that is what the game is balanced around. Doing regular tier 16s just drops no loot. Even doing tier 17s and not properly rolling them will result in no loot. So yeah, there's been multiple reasons why, you know, the loot feels terrible right now, because there's been multiple loot nerfs combined with other sources like tile loot sources, these guaranteed sources that just devalue the current loot on the ground. Now, if you don't know what a tile loot is, you don't really understand what I'm saying. Tile loot is a form of loot that is guaranteed to drop. If you've done strong boxes, which pretty much everyone has done, when you click an Arc in the strong box, you are guaranteed currency ranging anywhere, I believe, from a transmutation orb to a miracle launcher, right? You can drop anything in between.
Dude, I hate strong boxes. I know they're good, but I find it so boring. Strong boxes is something that I always avoid doing. I don't think there should be like a. Some strategies are obviously always going to be better than others, but the thing is now they've stripped back to the point that like strong boxes are so good, and if you don't like doing it, and there's nothing else, then you end up feeling like, well, I guess I don't know what I'm gonna do this league. Yeah. You like strong boxes? That's fine. It's fine if you like strong boxes. Thing is that if you don't like strong boxes, like how else do you find like div cards? Because I think like div card farmers mostly do it through strong boxes, right? They do it with the strong box and then the scarab and then the one that puts it on the boss. Is that how most people are farming? Whereas in the past, what you would do is just like put a shitload of monsters in the map, get some increased quants if you want it, and then just like then blast and like play. Oh, and ritual. You made most of your currency last league with strongbox and harvest.
Those items,
Health
but that is a form of tile loot because it's guaranteed item drops. It's guaranteed currency drops.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, you could just run burial chambers and drop doctors. That is so fun. I remember I once farmed a full headhunter with just doctor cards, and it took like 200 maps, but it was an extremely satisfying process. Whereas now, does anyone run like apothecary, or everyone like wastes time with scrying defiled cathedral onto dunes or whatever? But like, have you ever seen one of those streamers find an apothecary in those maps? I mean, it does happen, but like I don't feel the need to scry because I'm like, fuck it, like an apothecary is probably never going to drop. If it does, cool, but like I'm not going to torture myself in defiled cathedral prison. Is going to backfire, and the average player is going to realize it'll benefit Fubgun and the top 1%. Would it be worth it for every? How so, sniveling wretch? In what way? Because you just made a absolute statement without explaining it at all. How is improving the base drop rate of like Ulk and Go strategy is bad for the average player? Are you saying because it's going to multiply loot at the top end so much? I think, yeah, they're going to lose to Fubgun anyway. Lastly, if any of you both scried Apothecary as your main maps, and neither of you found one all League? Yeah, there you go. In 3.26, you get a lot of nurses. In Abomination with Risks and Abysses, but then they got rid of those, right? But then it was like 400% quant. Is more reliable than this? Is this Snaps vid? Oh god, wait. Am I gonna demonetize for this? Does this have any... What is this? Oh! This is PoE now! Oh god, no, this is too zoomer pilled.
You know, getting more
Let's
coin
go back.
map,
We're getting
getting more
distracted.
tax guys, getting more rarity. Doesn't really affect the strong box whatsoever. It's just guaranteed that loot reward. Another form of tile reward is Legion. The Legion monsters have these icons over the head, and that means they're guaranteed to drop those items. Stuff like the Legion Sergeants, they have a Chaos Orb over the head. That means they're guaranteed to drop a currency item, and that loot does not scale with quant. Yeah, that is tile loot, and currently in the state of the game, in which every single farm in the game is a tile loot farm outside of something like raw loot blight. I actually have a...
Not to be horrible, it's an old style of game design, but if you can't put in the hours of grinding for the 0.01% of pinnacle rare items, you can't have them. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. There's a small group of players who believe that all players, that I don't know, they're like suddenly become communists when it comes to gaming, where they believe like all players need to get the same loot for, I don't know, regardless of how much they play. They do need to be chase items in the game. They need to be things in the game that are like incredibly rare so that there are things for people to chase toward. But there's people who are like, oh, I deserve a mage blood because I have children and a job. And it's like, bro, but you don't need a mage blood to play the game. But it's like, yeah, but other people have mage bloods, therefore I deserve a mage blood. It's like, but I don't think those people like are that common, really. I think they just like show up on Twitter or something. Yeah, exactly. The alternative is you end up with like Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 where everything is immediately attainable, and then the end result is that you quit after 4 days. Yeah. Once it's had a combo where it was memed that the current best ground loot is scarabs feeding other farms. Yeah. There's always going to be FOMO.
Full spreadsheet of a ton of different farms in this game. And just go down real quick. Pretty much all this is tile loot.
Why can't every map pay us an agreed amount beforehand?
Agreed.
So if the map is hard, it pays 10C. If it's easy, it pays 5C. We can call it the employment mechanic. And the average is priced based on the average other players are willing to take as the wage system.
Get that shit out of my video game.
Legion is tile loot. Scare farm is more or less kind of like tile loot because you just get a ton of increased scarab chance and it's guaranteed scarab drops. Containment's tile loot. Expeditions tile loot. Blight map farm. This is tile loot.
Why is he not using dark mode?
A Blight Scarab and Currency farm. This is once again pretty much only raw base loot farm in the game. Map farm, Essence, tile loot. This Deli Orb farm, that is tile loot. Once again, the Deli Orb rewards down below. That is just pure tile loot. Harbinger, tile loot. Ultimatum, tile loot. Harvest, tile loot. Altars and Contract farm. Once again, tile loot. Destructive play. Once again.
Bro, what's a towel loot? Okay. Towel loot? Towel loot. Oh. Let's just see the strategies I did in 3.26. 3.26 was fun, man. This was ground loot, but it was coming from like... Oh, we did hobbies? Does hobby count as towel loot? Is hobbies towel loot? Oh, and betrayal, is that... I think betrayal is kind of tile loot. Crop rotation. Hobby is tile loot? Yes. What is not tile loot? I guess... Wait, old... Non-tile loot would be like, I'm just like throwing shitloads of monsters into my map and then getting some like quant and then killing them and then they drop the loot. Right, it's true. It's all tile loot. Crop rotation tile loot. 15 bosses per map. This was not really tile loot, right? Old Beyond, Old Breach, Kulamac, All Flame. Kulamac, All Flame is... that kind of... this is kind of not tile loot, but it's such a high-end strat. Random drops is not tile loot, targeted... yeah. Destructive play is also tile loot because each boss has a deterministic drop rate, so I guess so. Simulacrum? Damn. Where is the, like... I ran 200 maps to find apothecary cards.
Tile loot because you click the map nodes and it's just guaranteed to drop maps. So as you can see, I have a lot of different farms on my spreadsheet. A lot of people use this, and pretty much all of this besides this like apothecary farm.
Yeah, like apothecary farm. Wait, when did he do that?
Pretty much all of this besides this like a...
can you still do apothecary farm?
Apothecary farm.
So. But you know what else? You swear you saw it, but they nerfed some of the base drops to allow for mercs. And then did they add... I don't remember them saying that they nerfed the base loot to compensate for mercs, because mercs gave a 50% increase. But that is a bit of a... that's a bit of a... you can remember... I don't remember that. I remember people talking about it, but it was very tinfoil. You have the currency drop from... oh yeah, Beliers, what's up?
And raw currency farm is just all tile loot. You don't really drop anything in these farms besides just tile loot. Now, there's nothing wrong with tile loot in general. I think tile loot farms are completely fine to have.
It does sound like it's saying tile loot.
But pretty much all the farms in the entire game are tile loot, there is something really, really wrong with the entire game are tile loot. The entire game are tile loot. There is something really, really wrong with the current state of loot. So let me go over all these one by one.
Titanic Scarab Kulamac farm is not tile loot. Tire loot. He did say tire loot. March, I like it.
Genesis Tree and Gambling. I really feel like this is a major problem in the current game. King's March especially just heavily devalues all currency in the game. You know, when you go to King's March, it's both mappers and boats. Mappers, you get a ton of raw currency. You get divines really often. You can usually expect like 1 raw divine per 36 mappers doing tier 16 maps. If you're doing boats, obviously 50 mil boats, you're just guaranteed close to like, you know, 60 to 100 plus raw divines in value because of mirror shards, which is insane. You're gonna do that once a week. Or if you do smaller boats like small 500k, you know, the blue Xanath, you can expect a divine every couple of runs. Once again, though, that's just devaluing the, you know, ground loot. If you're getting raw divines from your mappers, raw divines from your...
and it's also boring, dude. It's so tedious. Going to your map device, clicking it, then clicking through 12 pages, and then you go to the next one, click through 12 pages, and then you put in more maps. Then...
it's boat. So and this is like, you know, every single day you log in, right? You can
You're right. This is the fucking new daily missions. It is. This is the replacement for daily missions of like, all right, it's bedtime, time to put in 12 maps for my mappers, and then wake up and see what I do. Like, you have to do it. I mean, you don't have to do it, but if you don't, because the set of the base drop rates are so bad, you don't have to. The thing is, of course you don't have to, but I think the point is that base ground loot is so devalued that you feel so strongly incentivized to do it. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it, but exactly, like, you don't do it, but you feel bad for not doing it because you know you should be doing it, because you're missing out so much if you don't. I also get that same feeling. It's always like halfway through week 2 where I say like, I just gotta do it. I just gotta like spend an hour and a half like buying all the guys, putting them in the thing, doing the thing, blah. I'll just do it. But I don't like doing it. I really don't like doing it.
Expect to have raw divines in your King's March. That means every raw divine you're dropping on the ground has less value, has less worth, and it also feels less good, right? If you have 5 divines from King's March and then you drop your first raw divine on the ground, that raw divine on the ground doesn't feel as good. So you already have 5 divines in your stash from King's March, this pure AFK, like mobile game mechanic. I really dislike, really hate this mechanic. It just devalues ground loot at pretty much no effort. Keeping up gold is, you know, Sure, at the start, the first few days can be an issue for a few players, but you know, a week plus in,
It is gotchification. Yeah, it's true.
5+ days in, you're not really strong enough gold. And if you still are, you just do 1 gold rotation and you're completely fine.
I hate this mechanic that gives divines to casuals and you can't scale. This isn't for casuals, man. You have to play a shitload to run your town. You have to spend a shitload of gold to firstly buy your people, and then running your town, you either need to be doing gold rotas, which costs a lot of divines, or you need to be playing a shitload. You need to be playing like a lot, or be doing like really high-end tier 17 content. So it's not even a casual thing. Like casuals, I think the thing is like casuals are getting the most screwed because those are the kind of people that are just like, I just want to do Ulk and Go. And currently Ulk and Go is like gigabat casual. I don't even know what a casual is. Like, does it exist? I'm sure it does exist, but I don't know what like the mean PoE player looks like. You and me, people are casuals to Fubgun. I wouldn't define myself as a casual. Like, what is a casual? Someone who plays like I think even someone who plays 2 hours a day is probably more. Why worry about casuals? Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. If you're in a Twitch channel 2 weeks before the update, you're not a casual. Anyone under 4,000 hours. Do you see casuals playing longer than 2 cents? I don't really know. I have no idea what a casual is. Thing is, they probably, you never interact with them because they just like play the game. And then they don't go on Reddit or Twitch streams or Twitter or whatever. They just like, I don't know, they do their own shit and then they go do something else. People get to red maps in under 3 days, but don't farm 20 divs. Dude, getting to red maps in under 3 days is like probably 0.01% of the player base. If I didn't stream, I would. I mean, I played this game for like 7 years before I started streaming it. I think a casual is probably someone who like gets to maps on like Wednesday after league start. I don't know. No one into yeah. You stop feeding your maps at some point because you can't be yeah. With 36 ritual windows in a row, it's so bad, man. Red map in. So weird to you that not playing the game is a bad thing. People get so. Are you talking about people who are like advanced intermediate? Wednesday after league start, you feel personally attacked. Wait, when does everyone here get to maps? How long does it take everyone here to get to maps? Like in terms of days, do you guys like get to maps on the same day as league launch, or do you get it on like the next week? Or does it take you like day one, 4 to 5 hours? This is not a casual stream. Day 2, 8 hours, 6 hours. Yeah. I think probably the vast majority of people here are like, if you're comparing yourself to Fubgun or Ben, you probably think you're trash at the game, but you're probably, compared to the average player, like extremely experienced. Extremely experienced. So, day 1 to 2 days, maybe a week, maybe in a week of moderate playtime. See, that's probably more normal. And you don't see yourself as a casual after like 2 days. Would people here get less currency if King's March was removed? That's the thing, is that people like Fubgun, and I guess me at this point too, they're saying is like, either get rid of King's March or make it so that they're not going to get rid of it, but make it so that that loot is redistributed back into base mapping, because it feels like they've constantly had to make space with like what Snap spoke about, but also now with systems like King's March, where it's like you can get all this currency from all these other places, so now like the baseline of just like killing monsters Ulk and Go is so low because those divines are now in King's March instead of in maps. I think that's the argument. So but the problem is I think the scary thing is people are now saying like, if they just do what they have been doing constantly, which is nerfing without compensation, they could next week say like, oh, we're lowering the in order to compensate for the impact of ground loot and King's March mappers. How do I say, like, in order to compensate for the impact that King's March mappers and shippers have on ground loot, we are reducing the chance to get divine orbs from mappers and ships by like 80%. And then everyone's like, okay, cool, but like you gotta put it back, right? But they keep doing that where they cut back. We'll see.
From there on out,
I have faith in Octavian. Yeah, have it give like tattoos and runes or like special unique items or something. You think that they can keep King's March as it is? Zol can go ground loot feels good on its own. The problem is on the mechanics or true rewarding that maps aren't rewarding enough. So if you want consistent currency as a blaster, there's almost no point to scale your content up beyond normal tier 16s unless you're on boxes. Yeah. You want to play more? Yeah. I think everyone will be happy. You wish they would hire you? How would you fix the issue? Yeah, and the other thing that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, well, we've spoken a bit about it today, is keeping league mechanic specific loot specific to those league mechanics, so that it maintains some value. Ruthless is taking over. Yeah, I'm really excited for Octavian. Uh-oh, Guitaraholics hitting us with another TTS.
We've discovered that shipping and mappers have a historical quant buff applied which makes them more rewarding than current maps. To compensate, every 10 maps and 4 ships now expends your crew as they age. And we have lowered their rewards to be in line with mapping equivalent. This is a buff.
No. Your mappers now age. Wait. You now need to feed your mappers food as well as gold to keep in line with the fantasy. So now half of the shipments that you send off are eaten by the crew. And therefore, as a result, you get half the divines from shipments. There you go. Figured it out. Solved. We solved it. We fixed King's March, everyone.
King's March is a big reason why currency on the ground is devalued. Of course, that's not the reason why loot is bad, but it doesn't help whatsoever. Now,
oh, nice. Is your name, is that Korean? That does look Korean to me. I'm glad you're learning English since Legion League.
Genesis Tree, as we do know, it's going core. We don't know if it's being changed at all. We don't know if it's being nerfed. They haven't said anything, but it's going core. But Genesis Tree is the same issue. Genesis Tree just prints all these perfect triple tier 1 rare items, which makes picking up rares on the ground just not even worth it. Now, I will say rares are not really worth it at all to pick up past day 1 and day 2. But I feel like especially this league, you know, Fresher League 3.27.
Tree should never be going core. The thing that's scary about the tree is that if it goes core and it's really good, it's, oh dude, it's so bad. It's so bad for the game. But then the thing is, like, they should have just cut this out. Like, cut this shit out. Keep this. This is, but even this, man, like with the Foulborn uniques, just make it so that the breach monsters drop the thing. The breach monsters drop the currency. The breach monsters drop the Foulborn. Get fuck off with the tree. Just make, I kill the monster and he drops the Foulborn item. Something else. Tree Gambler. I was saying to Guitaraholic, another thing you could do is maybe keep the Foulborn tree, but have it so that this maybe affects what kind of Foulborn items the monsters drop. Instead of kill the monster, get the egg, put the egg in the tree, click the button, push the button, click the thing, get the worm's molt. Nah. You love the tree, you're glad it's going core. Oh man. Ugh. Shyster. How you doing, Shysty? Think the monster should drop the Foulborn uniques? Yeah. Tree effects and mobs is a yes idea. Cause I can see why people like it, where you're able to kind of like tailor the loot that you're getting, but the process of it, if this was like a kind of set and forget mechanic where, I don't know, you can make it so I click all these things, and then this is like monsters in your breaches have a, I don't know, like rare monsters have a 1% chance to drop an item that contains this tree, and then you just set it, and then you run your breaches, and then once in a while you get that swing, and then it is one of these items rather than, oh fuck, I've run out of provisioning things. I need to now go on trade to buy provisioning things, and then you're like, I'm out of graft blood. Fuck, I need to now go farm to get graft blood, and then you go to the tree, and then you click thing, and you get something. It would be cool if it was like a set and forget. Put it in there. I don't know. I will, yeah, I will.
Currency of the game, it's really not even worth as you enter maps to show anything but rings or amulets like boots, chests, helm, weapons.
My PoE on general chat.
Those aren't even worth showing anymore as you just enter maps. And picking up rare gear should be a core part of the ARPG experience, even if it doesn't last forever, even if it's just for like a day or two, right? But currently it's not even worth picking up random chests off the ground, random gloves off the ground, because you just get it from both Genesis Tree and King's March Gambling. So yeah, the Genesis Tree combined with King's March Gambling.
Everyone hates the Genesis Tree. Well, not everyone. I'm taking your oxygen in an effort to reduce the amount of breathing you need to do. This is a buff. Chris Wilson.
Completely destroyed any meaning of rare loot whatsoever. You don't even bother picking.
Fantastic. I passive buffing of the loot which gets dropped from the monster directly, then get excited to you. Exactly. And then the other thing is it's like you see the unique, what if it was like a guaranteed, every unique breach monster you kill drops this, like a foulborn unique that is like tailored, and then every rare breach monster you kill has like a 1% chance to drop this item, and then like general, I don't know, maybe like magic monsters have a chance to drop this kind of loot or something. Is that still towel loot? That'd be so much more fun. If walls says walls, well, the thing, you'll be able to block walls. Just ignore it like Sanctum. You can't ignore this though. This has such a huge impact on the entire economy. If that's what you're talking about. If they really make rares matter, make them all drop identified. Oh, I don't know. Why does he have a problem speaking? I don't know. Maybe he has a speech thingy. I don't want to be mean to him. I think it's cute though. I think it's cute. I'm not. I think it's fun saying towel loot. Yeah, maybe he's got a speech thingy. I still know what he's saying. Wanna get high?
Up day 1 or day 2 anymore. You just get the perfect gear from your tree. This heavily devalues ground loot. Besides that though, this still gives.
What is wrong? Well, I mean, you could. I think it's the way you ask.
Raw currency Genesis Tree gives a ton of uniques. I think the uniques is another big issue, and I hope it is looked at in 3.28. But yeah, this also heavily devalues uniques. You just get so many from the tree, which once again, that devalues the ground loot in the game. And then of course gambling, which I did talk with the Genesis Tree. No, I actually really like gambling. In 3.26 and 3.25, it felt very good as a gear progression mechanic. But gambling combined with the Genesis Tree,
yeah,
which makes rare, gear on the ground irrelevant because gambling has like lucky rolls. So yeah, gambling is also an issue currently because it does combo with the Genesis Tree quite nicely. You pretty much use it to fill out your slots. Now, more loot multipliers is another major issue of the game, and I do wish this does go. So more loot multipliers, maybe you're unfamiliar with it, maybe you play PoE 2, you're not really that familiar with PoE 1. But yeah, more loot players is stuff like this. We have more scarabs, right? You can chaos roll, you can get more currency, more maps, more scarabs. You also get higher pack size, quant, and rarity, which I think are fine as rolls. But yeah, you get a ton of more multipliers, and this scales your map effect. There's also chisels as well. These give 100% more currency and 100% more scarabs. And you can get maps with 400, 500, 600% more currency. And doing those maps versus regular maps is a massive difference. And more multipliers, in one way or another, is a form of towel loot because you're targeting a specific type of loot, right? You're targeting loot that is more or less does fall into the line of towel loot because you are expected to get that type of loot. So yeah, multipliers are another
I think it's cute. I like it. Towel loot.
Big issue. Now, I do want to explain why I want ground loot to feel good though. And why I'm not a big fan of tile loot farms.
Okay, why do we want ground loot to feel bad? Good. I think the reason for me at least is that having that feeling of, I mean, just firstly playing the game and like killing monsters is generally more fun than like scrolling through badly designed UIs and then clicking buttons and then you get the thing and then sorting through it. Like that's what it's fun. It's just like blasting and killing monsters, especially like back to back to back. But also the feeling of getting a mirror from a mapper is like, I'm sure it's pretty pog and might make you like break out your best belly dance move. But the thing is, finding the mirror, finding that mirror, you will remember for the rest of your life where you were, where in the map you were, and having those, just like creating those experiences is what keeps you coming back. Like you'll always remember finding your first mirror. Yeah, you like when you find a mirror shot, it is like you message all your friends. You're like, dude, I found a mirror shot, like the most pog thing ever. Whereas if I get a mirror shot from it sending a 50 mil shipment, like no one gives a shit. That's okay, cool, whatever. But if you found one, it's like that's the dopamine chase. Whereas this is, there's like a wall between the dopamine. You want to just play the game, get lucky, have those exciting moments of the thing falling on the ground, versus the thing of like, I clicked a button, boop, and now I got 20 divines, which is like exciting, but it also kind of feels like you're cheating. Is there any problems? Oh.
So a big reason why I'm not a fan.
Yeah, when it becomes expected, it's not exciting. You remember your first divine? You got your mirror shot Intrusion.
Of tile loot farms is because you already know what you're gonna get, which makes it way less exciting.
Yes.
For example, if you do boxes, you know you are just gonna drop a raw divine, most likely, in almost every single containment map.
True, it doesn't have that feeling of like anything could happen. Anything could happen. I could do that. I could find the mirror or the mirror shot or the like Hinakora's lock. Oh. Intermittent reinforcement, when rewards are delivered unpredictably, for example, only sometimes after a lever presses, rats become obsessively preoccupied with the lever. This pattern, called intermittent reinforcement, is highly effective at sustaining behavior, even when rewards stop entirely. Oh shit. It mirrors become addictive behaviors in humans, such as gambling. Oh, it mirrors addictive behaviors in humans? Yeah. Okay, so that's the thing, is like when you're mapping and you get that random divine from a monster you killed, it is way more exciting and addictive than pulling the lever of like your 50 mil shipment and then getting those 3 mirror shots, because you know it's gonna come, right? On keepers, I don't know if I'm gonna use it. Airstrike. Maybe there's someone in chat. Is this the
Allah hamsi tuttu.
mirror? Mirror.
Ne diyorsun oğlum?
Allah billahi mirror. Al.
I mean, it's still exciting, but how much more exciting is it when that happens and you just like killing a monster and it's just like boop, drop. Is there someone in chat? Maybe Airstrike. You can find someone who wants some muns.
Not every single map does drop it, but it makes it way less exciting.
The Eater also Divine Shrine is peak dopamine. That does feel so good.
Exciting if you already know you are going to get it. You go inside a map and you just know you're going to raw divine back, it's way less exciting. Yeah. And this is true for pretty much all tile loot farm. Once again,
let me understand, tile loot is so good, knowing how to target farm a certain way, but everything in the game is basically that's it. It's like everything is tile loot. Well, not everything, but the vast majority of very good strategies is going to be tile loot, whereas like just like generic Elk and Go is far less good at this moment, at this point in time. To be fair, you got lucky last again, dropped a lock, and then got another 3-0 mappers, double lock. What? I watched your clip.
Again, I'm not a hater of all tile loot farm. There's nothing wrong with, knowing the guaranteed rewards you are going to get back. Some people do like that. When every farm feels like that, it is an issue, right? I personally want to go inside a map and not know what I come out with. The reason why I really like Crimson Temple back in Trial of the Ancestor League 3.22 is because you didn't know what type of loot you're going to come out with. And the reason why it was one of the best farms ever, in my opinion, was because of that fact. You went into a Crimson Temple map and you could drop a Mage Blood, a Headhunter, a Divine Orb, Apothecary card, 7 Years of Bad Luck, the Dragon card from Power card, or just raw Chaos Orbs. You could drop so much different type of loot and it made that farm so fun because it wasn't tower loot and you weren't guaranteed anything. You went into the side of the map and you didn't know what you were going to get out of it. So yeah, that's personally the type of farm I prefer, and it's what this game really lacks right now. A lot of farms right now is just tower loot, which I just don't like that much. So let's go over some solutions and some stuff they can do, at least with my suggestions. So first things first, they have to heavily nerf or even remove King's March and Genesis Tree. Personally, I wish King's March was removed. Genesis Tree, they said, is going core, but yeah, this stuff needs to be nerfed. If this stuff stays in the game unnerfed, it just completely destroys any value of the current ground loot we currently have. Makes your divines worth less because you get a lot of them from King's March. Makes any rare gear completely pointless to pick up from day one onwards. And I don't think there's anything wrong when rare gear is divided off the ground. But you know, day one, day two progression, picking up rare gear should be a core part.
That's the thing I'm worried about, builders, is that they stop here where they're like, all right, guys, we've heard you. We know that you don't like King's March. We're severely nerfing it. And we're like, but that was only half the thing. What about the other half of like, put that shit back in maps? Get rid of King's March. It's now Queen's March.
The ARPG experience.
That was horrible, sorry.
I think there is something wrong when you don't even pick up rare gear in maps anymore. The stuff like the Genesis Tree, King's March, and Gambling.
I think that's pretty normal, at least in PoE, of like not picking up rare gear. The thing is, once you get into like the late endgame in PoE, the modifiers you need on gear is so hyper specific that the chance for that to drop is like 1 in a trillion. The other people are saying like have loot drop identified and then you can filter it out. So maybe one solution, but
it's just so strong and completely removes any value in those ground rare loot. Another big change I think they should do is remove more multipliers. But in return, they have to drastically buff the base quant and base monster quant to make up for it. And I do mean drastically. Yeah. Don't just do like a base, 10% more monster quant buff. It has to be a massive buff to base quant. This would be a really big change because it would make everyone at all map tiers have improved loot, where they do tier 16, tier 17s, or even like yellow maps at the start of the league. Your loot would be improved with a change like this. I do think multipliers are just really bad for the game. There is a whole nother discussion on tier 17 multiplier map rolling, which I won't get into, but I heavily dislike it. I do think removing it would be an overall net positive for the game.
By who?
I do think removing it get into, but I heavily dislike it.
What was the name of that person? KF. If they don't nerf it, I think I will do it. Heavily dislike it. Hell. What is the name? What was that name that he said?
Discussion on tier 17 multiplier map rolling, which I won't get into, but I heavily dislike it.
Oh.
Player map rolling, which I won't get into, but I heavily dislike it. I do think removing it would be.
Oh, but I heavily dislike it. Okay, sorry. I thought he was saying there is another discussion about tier 17 loots by heavily dislike it. I thought that was the name of a streamer. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Player map rolling, which I won't get into, but I heavily dislike it. I do think removing it would be an overall net positive for the game. If return, they buff the base quant and base monster quant to make up for it. Another thing they had to do is a complete scare rework. This is also
was that clear? I heard by heli dislike it.
Discussion here, but the end game has been extremely stealth for so time right now, and so much of the current scare which just pretty much reinforced this tower loot meta. None of them really buff ground loot all that much. On top of that, pretty much half the scares in the games are completely useless. See, I do think overall scare rework, especially scares that aim to improve ground loot, would be a huge help in this as well. Yeah, those are the 3 major things I would do to help the current state of ground loot. I do think it is fixable, but the current state of ground loot is just so terrible in PoE. I really hope it's heavily addressed in 3.28, because whether you're like an endgame juicer like me, or it's like casual tier 16 farm.
We don't want to be mean about the way people talk. I just didn't understand what he said there.
Farmer, we both feel the current effect of ground loot. We both know it's bad. BX a casual tier 60 farmer, they'll also say ground loot's bad. If you ask me, I also say it's bad. It's just bad for everyone right now, and it really needs a lot of attention and a lot of help in 3.28, which I do hope GG does address. Yeah, these are all my suggestions and my ideas on how to improve ground loot, why ground loot is bad, and just explain all the reasons why it is currently really, really bad. I do think another thing they can do is if they do remove a lot of rare sources from the Genesis tree and King's March, having tiered rare loot in this game, I think would go a long way, especially for day 1 and day 2 progression. The tiered rares, how it is in PoE 2, I think adding it to PoE 1 would help it and would make picking up rare loot more rewarding for that first few days. Of course, eventually rare loot in PoE 1 does become worthless, and that is fine. But once again, it should be a core part of progression for the first few days, and currently in 3.27 it's not. Because once again, gambling industry, I keep saying it over and over, just completely devalues it. So yeah, that's the whole video. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Why do we care what he thinks?
I hope this
He's like one of the best, most prolific, popular farmers in the game. So I think he's got some pretty good insights, at least into some things. So I think
start a good discussion, because a lot of players, and especially me, just really dislike the current state of the loot in the game. It just does not feel good. It doesn't feel fun to farm. Personally, for me, 3.27 was probably the most boring league I ever played. It just wasn't fun because there was just no really good end game farms, or the only good end game farm.
I know people. I don't know if there's people, if it's a meme or if people genuinely think that Fub RMTs, but like there's no shot. There's no shot. Do you know how much money? Do you know how much money a top streamer makes? Like how many? What's a Twitch tracker, or like what's a? I know you're not, but there are some people who like seem to genuinely believe it. You're saying like RMTers copy him.
Farms was the same ones been doing for like multiple leagues in a row. Stuff like strong boxes, which is just towel loot. So yeah, that's mostly about it. If there are any questions or want to start a discussion below, just leave a comment. But yeah, that's about it.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not even a millionaire in South African rands. All right. I'm not even a millionaire in South African rands. There's a long way to go. We gotta pump up those subs. Good video. Towel loot strats are fine, but it sucks when they're basically the only type of strats left. Ground loot used to be very exciting. We need that excitement back. That was a good video from Mr. Fubgun. When am I gonna start? We'll wait for the patch notes. I'm hoping KF. I'm scared to click this. What is this? Is this towel loot? Towel loot! It's towel loot! Thanks, AI. A random maps in King March gives more loot on average than a fully juiced 8 mod map on the Alice. Not dropping it at fusing is... Yeah, that was crazy because I tested it too and I didn't get anything good. Huh. But not what did Banana say? Pump up the subs! And you got a Google Photos update at the same time that said at time to pump up, and it's video month. What the heck? I'm in your brain. People don't seem to understand how much currency you make if you know the game and played a lot. Yeah. The thing is, it's
guaranteed.
Most people who call RMT on someone like Fubgun are the same people who will look at like a pro Counter-Strike player and just assume that they are using aimbot or wall hacks. Like they don't. They're like not capable of conceiving that level of play, so they assume that the person must be cheating. But dude, like if you're a top streamer, you are earning a preposterous amount of money, and like putting that at risk for some, I don't even know, like there's no shot. Okay, it's not about making currency, it's about not dropping it. Yeah, he goes offline and liquidates his stash. That's the thing. What timed event? Currency doesn't matter. It takes nothing to make currency compared to years back. But when it comes to loot, you get 90% of your gear from a trade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Raw currency drops are very low these days when not doing towel loot. It's true. like Kangaroo make 1 mirror in first 3 days. Yeah, those like top level players are... Oh, Kanko, yeah. We can blame Brexit. What did Guitaraholic say? Guitaraholic... What did you say? I don't want to leak DMs. How do I not expose you? Yeah. Okay. This isn't all of it. Okay. Does anyone know how to read? Help. You'll happily say it. What do you mean? Guitaraholic said. Okay, there's more. There's more. I wonder if there's a theme around the gotchification of rewards in PoE 1. Firstly, theme of secondary currencies from a single encounter mechanics in maps. Take that currency to a vendor or a secondary zone for a pull chance of a reward. The majority of currency is by abusing the semi-deterministic element of RNG wheel here. Ground loot and just being a character who does maps quickly is no longer a thing. I mean, it is still a thing, but not in the same way. This is Guitaraholic. Not in the same way of like Ulk and Go, where you now basically have to do a strategy. And the thing that was so bad with Breach is that it made many low-level strategies extremely unprofitable. Kuro, thanks for the follow. And 6. So this is like the thing of, for example, you farm the reroll currency for Tujin, and then you take that currency to Tujin or a secondary zone for a pull chance at a reward, and then the currency is by abusing the semi-deterministic element of RNG wheel here. Ground loot, yeah, or with like new breach of kill the monster, get the womb gift, get the graph blood, take it to the tree, click the buttons on the tree, click the thing, and then you get the thing. The Fubgun effect. Mirage ships. Incubators. At the idea. Wait, I didn't really. Okay. Oh, arrow! I look. Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, Mr. Streamer,
Hi.
it's so nice to catch you while you're live. You look great today. Yay. 7,777,777
Thanks, Arrow. You must come hop on voice chat if you want to discuss. We're discussing ground loot today. Alright, here's examples. Oh, the examples go from acceptable to egregious. Oh, Fossy with a Prime sub. Oh, my thing's echoing. What the freak? Oh, poo. Oh, shit. Why are they echoing, dude? I need to fix that. I'll fix it before 3.28. Okay, harvest is kill enemies to drop a life force currency to chance for a chance to craft an item. That's okay. Delve, all mechanics is fossils for a chance to craft an item. That's okay. But expedition is drop one of 7 vendor currencies for a chance of buying a currency, crafting an item, or gambling a unique. Borderline. I don't know why expedition doesn't feel that bad to me. Or find a mechanic in the map that generates a resource, but no drops from these monsters to allow miners to mine. This is like a mobile time. Oh, you're talking about King's March? Your back deck looks gnarly. Has your back deck been on Tran? What's going on? Then farm literally any other secondary currency simply due to a factor of time. Use secondary currency to run more maps through a random ticket pinata to see if mappers get good items or not, removing from the ground to be a window pull. Use a secondary currency generated by a time event against items / uniques that don't have useful build value to use for combination crafting, borderline, or combine multiple secondary currencies of mining, farming, smelting, disenchanting to send a ship through the RNG system for a deterministic chance system for the chance of a big pull. Literal gacha. Breach. Kill hundreds of mobs in a breach window. Covers 30 to 40% of the maps with no rewards. But Graph Blood. Spend Graph Blood on a little tree to get the pull. Yeah, the tree is like the most gacha mechanic we've had. Well, it's like gacha with benefits. Is it meant to upset you? Yes. The gachification of PoE 1 and the move away from the class system, like increased damage, difficulty of content, and inject magic find, more rewarding mapping is bad for the game. It feels like in a quest to make leagues more in-depth, they became complex, and instead of complementing the core experience of an ARPG, which is kill mob, get loot, they're turning more so into games within games, separate from the core ethos of an ARPG, which I think is good for variety. There still needs to be augmentation of the core system to refresh and enhance it alongside the new complex systems created some leagues. It is a guitaraholic essay. I believe, dude. I believe.
So yeah, no, I think 3.28 is going to be great. I'm very excited for it.
I think so too.
It's been a lot of work so far to put together, but it'll be worth it.
Hell yes. I think it'll be good. I think it's gonna be exciting. Wait, where the fuck? Where's my paint? Okay. He's farming grass. Almost every new mechanic now doesn't enhance mobs or loot. It drops the secondary currency to interact with an NPC or secondary area system for a chance of pulling a valuable reward. So instead of more maps, more mobs killed, it's more loot. You think it's completely accidental and it's a symptom of something else? As they grew, they realized they could design better, more complex, diverse, distinct leagues around a theme. So they stopped designing things that just do more in the maps, mobs, but faster onslaught, and started designing games inside the games. Arrow, what's your opinion on everything? I believe in Octavian. He is our new Christopher Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
I did, man. I made it to the end of the... Oh, yeah. What is this, guys? Heather's Second. You agree with Guitaraholic for the most part. Yeah. I didn't realize this was such an issue. Why are you showing me my own stream? What the frick? Quick, someone get me content. Help. Gotta go pick things up and put them down? Alright, have fun. Oh, yeah. This was... What is it? Mind over matter. This was a... When is this from? 2019? Oh no, this is 3.19. Problem. Mind over matter and builds that heavily invest in mana in general have been left in an underpowered state by various balance changes and the increased power of investing in reservation skills. Solution. As a first step, improve the base power of Mind over matter and pull that power out of body armor mods. We're aware that this change does not solve all problems currently facing mana builds, and are considering exactly what further changes to make for future expansions. And then they never came back to it. 2022. Aaron Shicey picking up heavy things. Oh, are you guys doing on like a voice call? Are you guys having a bro date? Okay, I just want to get some more water. I'll be right back. I'm back. Hop on. Oh yeah, Vortex. I wanted to ask Era if he wanted to talk on stream, but now he has to go pick up heavy things and put them back down. You want to see? This video is so good. Ooh, buffs and nerfs. Oh no, my voice is dying. We're gonna have to get Lolcohol back in.
Path of Exile's 3.28 update is days away from being fully revealed.
What are our predictions? Our predictions. Do you think the thing that you know what I'm actually scared about with Kinetic Fusillade isn't necessarily a direct nerf, but more of a tangential side swipe where they nerf all wands skills. Like they reduce the power of like base crit or base attack speed on wands, and then also like reduce the power on the tree, and then like nerf the elementalist. 3-dimensional Atlas tree. OMG. We gotta call in Lolcohol. Loot Mirage. We create the impression of loot. Kill Lucky Block. Oh, let's see.
And we should be receiving the full patch notes immediately following the GGG live presentation on February 26th. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over my predictions for 3 buffs and 3 nerfs for Path of Exile Mirage, beginning with the nerfs. And we're starting with the Genesis tree.
I think this is like pretty guaranteed. I think it's pretty guaranteed.
Now, just a week ago or so, we learned that the Keepers of the Flame League mechanic, which is the revised version of Breach, will be going into the core game in 3.28, But there will be the normal list of changes that come with a mechanic going core. For example, Breach will no longer be present in every map by default, and there will be Breach-specific nodes related to the new version of Breach added to the Atlas passive tree, along with new Breach scarabs so that you can customize this content in your maps. The example that they provide in the post is that you will be able to specialize into the ability to control which type of Breach mechanics actually spawn in your maps.
Is there a single person on the face of the planet who wants the stupid wall one? But the thing is, the troll shit that they might do is they were going to be like, all right, so the wall one, right? The wall one drops the good stuff and the normal one drops the bad stuff. Or the wall one drops like graft blood and the other one drops womb gifts. And by the way, womb gifts, not tradable anymore. Remove walls. But the thing is, what if they do something cheesy like that where the wall one drops one thing and then the other one drops the other thing? Please, don't.
So if you hate those walls, you'll probably be able to prevent them from spawning if you want to. Now, predictably, grafts will not be returning with the Breach addition to the core game, but the Genesis tree is going core, and if this post is anything to go by, the only thing that the tree will no longer be able to do is create grafts. So you'll still have the branches to be able to create equipment, uniques, and currency. And this has caused quite the discussion in the PoE community.
Please, dude.
Because in regards to the Genesis tree creating equipment items using provisioning womb gifts, well, it's quite good at printing very good items. So much so that the 3.27 version of the Genesis tree largely invalidated a lot of ground loot extremely early in the campaign, and then later on in progression, it often significantly devalued other crafting methods. Because you can essentially skip a lot of them, as the tree commonly rolls very high tier modifiers, and it often rolls them alongside other valuable modifiers as well.
Dude, it made essences worth less. It made Harbinger worth less because fracturing orbs were devalued. Fossils were worth less. ROG was pointless to do. What else? Harvest was less good. It's just like it made it invalidated so much stuff, man. The Fireborn, yes, yeah. Those presumably will still, I assume they'll still be available. Multiple breaches to home color, ground loot in shambles, or the other thing is like, Expedition would drop a lot of fractured items. So like fractured items were devalued because this thing like prints fractured. I don't know. Fracturing orbs being cheap made you rich last league.
A good example of that is how good it is at crafting two-handed axes. Axes that are literally good enough to do all of the content in the game. Now, the post that details Breach 2.0 going core in 3.28 doesn't go into any detail at all regarding Graft Blood. Graft Blood was attached to, well, grafts, as it was stored in your grafts. But since grafts are going away in 3.28, we're not sure just yet how the Genesis tree will work. Will Graft Blood be a resource that's stored on your account like gold?
Yeah.
Perhaps Graft Blood is going away entirely and you'll just be able to use the womb gifts directly if you have access to them.
Yeah, they could just make it so that the womb gifts are like pre-stored. But a lot of people said they're getting rid of Graft Blood because in the post they said that grafts and the Graft Blood that they have on them is getting removed. But that doesn't mean Graft Blood is going away. Graft Blood is stored in the balls.
Whilst this information is unclear right now, we'll likely learn exactly how the breach mechanic will be implemented during the livestream, but this is one of the methods that they could use to essentially nerf the tree. Will be quite a bit weaker than the 3.27 version, so that its core implementation doesn't devalue a bunch of pre-existing systems.
Yay. So that's why a lot of
next up,
like a lot of people say they love the tree because they can get early gear, but the thing is like, yeah, why the YouTube stream? Is it back? It might seem cool, but like overall for like the whole game, it's not good for the whole game. Taking a week to get your 6 link, or using a lucky corrupted 6 link on day street. Yeah. For the time being. But there are a lot of people who are like, no, the tree is good. It's like so good for the game. Concrete magic. GOG did a 10-minute video out of a 6-second trailer. Based.
In the nerf predictions, it's Kinetic Blast and its transfigured version, Kinetic Blast of Clustering. Now, back prior to the launch of 3.27 Keepers of the Flame, it looks like this league was going to be the breakout release for a brand new skill, Kinetic Rain, a wand attack ability that looked almost too good to be true in the pre-release footage of the Ziggy D's gameplay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be, because internally, GGG had already nerfed the skill from the version that Ziggy had played on, and after the full 2020 Gems reveal post went live, players collectively decided that whilst 3.27 was still going to be Wand League, it certainly wasn't going to be Kinetic Rain League. Now, important to mention here is that Kinetic Blast was already one of the most well-performing skills in the previous league, 3.26 Mercenaries. By the time that league came to a close, 8% of character builds level 95 or higher in softcore trade were using KB. And it was only just beaten in terms of play rate by Forbidden Rite of Soul Sacrifice, a build that was heavily nerfed in 3.27. But KB remained, and not only did it remain, but it thrived. The strength of this skill translated league to league, and the Keepers of the Flame update bolstered the wand attack archetype with a few new additions, including new wand bases that cannot roll caster modifiers, which are especially helpful to enable wand crafting through early progression. But there's also the transfigured version of this skill, Kinetic Blast of Clustering. That wasn't even close to as popular as the base version in the previous league, 3.26. In fact, this build was only being played on 0.6% of characters level 95 or higher compared to the 8% of regular KB. However, the potential was there, and with Kinetic Blast of Clustering receiving a buff for about 17% more damage in the patch notes, the stars were aligning for this skill to
they buffed it. I don't
absolutely
remember.
Dominate the league, and that's exactly what it did. Kinetic Blast of Clustering is the most played skill in 3.27 softcore trade for builds
Dubby, yes, yeah, it's been super bad, and load screens are crazy. They're so bad.
Level 95 or higher. And I think it's very likely that we'll see numerical adjustments to both variants of KB come 3.28.
Sana. But hopefully they numerically nerf those specific skills and not do like general vague wand nerfs. Please. Fixo, thanks for follow.
Now, on to my third and final nerf prediction for this video is Foulborn, Hand of Thought, and Motion. One thing to mention here is that Foulborn items have not been explicitly mentioned by GGG in the post about Breach 2.0 going core, but since it was mentioned that Graphs wouldn't be making a return, I think we can infer that Foulborns are sticking around as part of Breach 2.0's core implementation into Path of Exile, especially considering they pretty much make up the exclusive reward component for this league mechanic. If Foulborns are intended to go core as expected, then Foulborn, Hand of Thought, and Motion has to be at the top of the list when it comes to uniques that need to be adjusted moving forward. This item enabled one of the strongest builds in 3.27 due to the increased accuracy rating per intelligence Foulborn modifier. That one just combines way too well with the Juggernaut's undeniable ascendancy notable and the Storm Rider boot space for huge flat damage and attack speed scaling. These builds were absurd, often with massive amounts of energy shield from natural intelligence stacking scaling.
I know, I agree, stat stacking is so boring.
And millions and millions or even billions of damage per second. Easily one of the most broken builds in recent Path of Exile
Everything
leagues.
is stat stacking.
There's not really too much to say about this item. It will either receive a large numerical nerf to the Foulborn modifier, or I think more likely than that, the modifier will be replaced with...
Solution? We're nerfing Lightning Strike. Stat stacking, it just works. It just works because they cut out so many other forms of scaling. So now like stat stacking is one of the final bastions of ultra endgame damage scaling.
Something else in 3.28 and beyond. Okay, let's move on to the buff predictions for Path of Exile Mirage. And we're starting with loot.
I think so.
That might sound like a particularly vague buff prediction, but that's exactly what I expect for 3.28. changes to improve loot in terms of basic ground drops and endgame farming strategies.
I think it'll happen.
The feel of loot in 3.27 was quite bad to say the least. The combination of several targeted nerfs to endgame farming strategies, with the existence of breach walls in about half of the maps, it didn't feel great to progress through those areas in Keepers of the Flame, and part of that was the lack of generic loot drops. The breach mechanic itself feels like it dialed back on loot compared to the original version, and normal monsters seem to be dropping less as well. However, this has been a problem for much longer than just 3.27. For example, back in Settlers, the majority of my divines came from just clicking shipments. And when I say the majority, I mean like 95% or more of my divines in that league.
Man.
And this didn't change with the core implementation of King's March either. If and when I need raw divines, I know that I can rely on shipments much more than I can in general mapping. Now, I do want to recommend a very good video by Snap from just a few days ago, where he outlines the historical changes that have led to...
Dude, is there anyone who likes King's March? Like, I don't think anyone likes King's March anymore. Settlers. Oh, man. It was just too long.
The situation of loot in Path of Exile in the present day. That one...
Why does everyone think ground loot gets touched? People spam those ground loot memes since 2 weeks. If GG didn't already have it on the radar, I'm not sure they would make a big swing. I mean, they could. It's really bad at the moment, man. It is really, really bad at the moment. There's a chance that they're aware of it, or there's a chance that they can sort it out beforehand.
One has a ton of great information to get you up to speed with how we got here. And I'll also link Fubgun's video too, which highlights some of the more recent changes to loot in the last 3 or 4 leagues that have had quite a large impact on endgame farming strategies.
Yeah.
Both of those videos are worth a watch, and they go into far more detail on the topic. But considering GGG themselves said that they plan to make bigger changes to farming strategies in 3.28, I expect to see some big improvements in this area come launch.
I hope so. Please.
Up next in the buff predictions, it's Tier 17 maps.
Buffed? What?
Now, technically, this could be a buff or nerf prediction, depending on how you want to look at it. But I'll call it a buff prediction because I expect GGG to simply improve Tier 17s as far as their original design concept goes. I went into a lot of detail about Tier 17s in a previous video for why these changes should be coming in the upcoming league, but essentially, Tier 17s never really ended up being what they wanted them to be, which was a stepping stone from normal pinnacles to uber pinnacle bosses, but that simply isn't what they are in current PoE. Instead, they've replaced Tier 16 maps in some of the most efficient endgame farms, which is something that they said they didn't want, and this was a result of several changes back in 3.24 that added a lot of extra loot to these maps in the form of modifier bonuses to quantity, rarity, currency, and more. But beyond that, Tier 17s have also caused some of the most restrictive gameplay that the game has ever seen due to incredibly oppressive map modifiers.
And layouts. And the layouts. The layouts are like friggin' tunnels, man.
This has led to a select few ascendancies and archetypes reigning supreme for many leagues in a row, as they've been able to essentially ignore several modifiers, such as the Trickster with the action speed modifiers on Tier 17s.
Oh my goodness.
Now, with all of that said, GGG are aware of these problems. In fact, in several interviews in the past, they've acknowledged that Tier 17s aren't in a good spot. But it wasn't until the 3.27 Q&A that they really got into this topic in much more detail, and I think we're going to see big changes to this issue sooner rather than later.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Let's move on to my final buff prediction for 3.28, which is underused ascendancies.
Assassin. What are we thinking? Assassin? Occultist? How much occultist? How much is occultist being played? What wait, we gotta see. Keepers. Let's take like week 1 keepers. Week 1 keepers. Sabo, yes. Warden is 2% champion. Sabo. Oh, Sabo and Guardian. Oh, Assassin's still at 2%. These are probably people who are doing like bossing, right? Are they like ice trappers or some shit? What the fuck? Ellie hit of the spectrum? Why am I thinking ice trap? What decade am I living in right now? Oh, Exsanguinate. P-Brand. Oh, there is an ice trapper. Spork. This guy's just using Herald Thunder. There's a Cobra Lash. Okay. Glad with the Retaliators. Damn, dude. I didn't know that Glad was so... I know Glad's at 2%. But Elementalist? Poor Unascended Shadow. My love. 0%. They need to buff Unascended Shadow, clearly.
Now, we've already had that very brief and cryptic teaser with the Scavenger Scion Ascendancy from Freesia, which looks like it might make its way into the core game in some shape or form, but I think this is going to extend a bit further with improvements to other Ascendancies as well.
Those are fun to play.
The Guardian has consistently been one of the least popular Ascendancies for many leagues in a row, and this Templar Ascendancy suffers from having a bunch of lackluster options alongside a few solid ones. In theory,
don't read the next Discord message. You can't put it in TTS, copy and paste and listen. Wait, do you want me to read it?
Then the addition of Bloodline classes should have solved this issue, as they provide a lot more options to replace those weaker choices, but the Guardian found itself at the bottom of Ascendancy share in 3.27 in softcore trade,
Guardian.
at just 0.6% of level 95 and higher characters, and even in hardcore leagues where this Ascendancy is generally a bit more favourable, it still only represents about 2% of characters in hardcore trade and just 1% in HC SSF. There's also the Saboteur, with the rework in 3.21 that just never really caught on. In a way, this Ascendancy suffers from the same problems as the Guardian. It has a few very good notables that can reasonably make their way into a diverse set of builds, but the other choices are just incredibly niche. Both the Saboteur and the Guardian could use some improvements, and I think we could see that come to fruition in 3.28.
I hope so.
And
Sabo is so fun. Guitaraholic has a TTS. Oh god. This is a requested TTS.
Hottest take ever. Everyone says Triple G isn't listening to what the players want. But they hired a player in Mark, Neon, and then Octavian, as the main proponents of the endgame design, T17S, T16.5S. The Scarab reworks and removal of sexants were all led by Octavian, so maybe players don't know what's best for the game, and what's needed is someone like Chris with the hand on the wheel to keep the ship moving forward. PoE 1 is where?
Forward? PoE 1 is where it is because the players are in control. You're right, they all wanted to get rid of Quant. They hated MF. They're like, get MF out of the game. Now there's no more Quant left.
There you have it. My predictions for 3 buffs and 3 nerfs for Path of Exile 3.28 Mirage.
Epic.
And we don't have long to wait now for the full reveal,
cool
and hopefully the patch notes right after that. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, stay tuned and stay safe.
Right afterwards, after a 3-hour interview, Grapple is stored in the balls. No. You forgot to mention the buff to intelligence and energy shield builds. Surely. Chaos dot spells buffed. True, that'd be cool. ED Contagion making a comeback. Underused strike skills will get a number shakeup. I bet Grappler drops either as a currency item or harvest. Oh, that's true. Peacock. Okay. What's on the right side? GGG, please address these problems. Please. 5 changes that PoE needs. God, am I becoming a React streamer? This is, we've hit an all-time low. Oh, I'm a React Andy now. If they buff life, your strength. Life is fine, isn't it? In PoE 2, PoE 1. It has to be rare. Yeah, I'm a React slop Andy. Alright, let's watch this one. By the way, the last video we watched, frick. I just stole money from Dreamcore.
Path of Exiles.
Go follow Dreamcore. If you're not already for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with you if you're not. Go watch Dreamcore. Life's fine. Is there a single life-based Voldo build? Probably not. But I don't know if that's a measure of if life is fine. If like the ultra hyper specific void map means that life is not fine.
What up? We are 1 week out from the patch 3.28
What up? Yo. Path of Evening.
reveal, and people are getting desperate for more teasers from GGG, including us. We've already talked about everything they've given us so far, and now it's time to just point out things we want to change in hopes that they throw us some distractions. We've got 5 big points and then the classic prediction bingo board just for a little bit of fun. Before we jump into it, help us out with some YouTube busy work, like, subscribe, and hype the video if you're on mobile. These all tell YouTube to show our content to more people, which really helps us out. Alright, so starting with the big issue, the thing that everyone on Reddit is talking about, ground loot. So people want ground loot buffed, and this is being said everywhere all the time, and there are kind of 2 versions of this idea. The first version is that
what players want.
They're talking. They're fucking playing Awaken Chain GMP Turbo GMP. It shoots out 86 projectiles and it chains 18 times. And they also have the ability to fly because they have the Flight Quicksilver Adrenaline Turbo Flask that gives them the 800% movement speed. They're just sitting there flying over the map, shooting all these Awakeners. Awaken gems are just plowing out everywhere. And then the fucking Exalted Orb just appears in the middle of the screen. It's like this
a little bit out of date.
And they click it, and then boom, 100 Exalted Orbs come out, and then
hell yeah!
All the Exalted Orbs, they click at one time, they all fly into the character, and then 3 mirror.
It's like he predicted Affliction League.
Mirror of Calandras appear on the screen. 1, 2, 3. All their items duplicate, and now they can sell them on the trade site. And now they have 10,000 mirrors of Calandra.
Oh yes.
But mirrors of Calandras are peasant currency at this stage. They now have Awakened Mirror.
Awakened Mirror.
What it does is it mirrors an item and it makes all the rolls T1.
Oh hell yeah!
And it also adds 2 extra influences. So now you can actually get 16 influences on items. It also adds 2 extra links, so you can get 8 link gear.
Oh hell yeah! I want this game. Someone get this guy working at GGG. That sounds like the perfect video game. Who is he? Alcazar. I don't know. Maybe he'll be popular one day.
Rare item drops are just not very valuable in the current state of the game, which, making those be good sounds great for day 1 of the league, and then it kind of becomes pretty boring. Picking up gear that drops, IDing it, and hoping it's good is peak Diablo gameplay, and that gets pretty boring after a while of farming.
How dare you, first of all? How dare you? Secondly,
maps and PoE.
How dare you?
Tiered rare system from PoE 2 is something that people would like to see in PoE 1, and we're a little hesitant on that as well. It's not a great model for this. 99% of those items are still junk, too. You just don't really want to be picking up items like crazy. The other idea would just simply be more currency drops in the state of the game in regular tier 16s rather than exclusively relegated to tier 17s with good rolls. This is exactly what players want. Everyone loves more currency, and because currency orbs are crafting items, having more of them naturally results in better gear all around. So
it doesn't only have to be currency, right? It doesn't have to be raw currency, but it can just be like a thing that you are farming that you can, if you're playing trade, then sell for currency. It doesn't necessarily have to just like be divines, but if it's, let's say you're doing delve and you go through like 10 nodes and you walk out with like, I don't know, like 15 dense fossils and like some serrated fossils, that feels like as good as finding the raw divine. So it's just like in general. A mirage, an image produced by very hot air of something that seems to be far away but does not really exist. So we see the currency on the ground, but it vanishes when you walk over to it. It's an amazing, it's gonna be the most epic troll league where we just get the concept of loot without having to use it. It's going to be temporary currency items that you find a divine on the ground, but it has a timer linked to it and you have to use it within that time, otherwise it disappears. That's my prediction.
More ground loot in the form,
and there's also more walls. Yes, more walls
of more currency. Yes, more ground loot in the form of more gear. Not really. Tier 17 maps really need a big redesign. Most of the layouts are just not very good.
Yes, currency that can't be taken out of the current zone. Dude, can you imagine? I think what they should do is they make it so that all the items that drop in the map, yeah, just make it so all items have timers on it. Rares, crafted gear, and it's all random. It's all random, but don't worry, there's a fancy currency item that increases the timer.
Having hard map mods,
but that also has a timer. So if you don't use the timer currency on the timer rare, well then your item's gone, sorry.
It's good, but the balance of difficulty and reward is way off for most of the tier 17 map mods that are in the game right now. In the patch 3.27 reveal, Jonathan and Mark talked about how they aren't happy with the current state of the tier 17 map system being both the highest level of juicing and also the source of all of the Uber Boss tokens, but they didn't have any ideas on how to fix it at this point. And honestly, same.
Wait. Is this not a meme? Because there was an hourglass. Oh my god. Imagine there is a time. Imagine there is like timed gear, but it's like Giga OP. But it only lasts for like 10 zones. I can picture them doing something like that. You find like the perfect 6 mod tier 1 item, but it only lasts for like 4 maps. No. Please.
But the thing we would most like to see is just more of them. More tier 17 map layouts that aren't just a bunch of hallways connected to each other. More open areas that have that tier 17 scaling. And more tier 17 map bosses,
durability,
but maybe without any of the damage immune downtime phases.
Don't give them ideas.
Another big change the game needs is tier 16.5 map skills to be either redesigned or removed. The tier 16.5 map concept suffers from the same issues that tier 17 maps do in terms of build disabling map mods, but the map layouts are great. They're just good old tier 16 maps, but with a bunch more loot. That's good. The extra keybinds that come with those memory abilities are not as good. They're pretty annoying to use, and a lot of the time they just really don't do anything valuable at all. If the bonuses were made to be
it's rental gear, yes. And you have to pay real money, and it's rented. Sounds great. And you can also, with trades, you can have there's a secret currency item on your item, so you can apply the orb of true ownership to your rare item. You sell it to someone, then you push the button and it like does a charge back. You get your item and the currency.
Massive in some way, tier 16.5 maps would feel a million times better than they do right now. They probably should take another pass at the actual bonuses that the memory skills provide as well, since a large number of them are borderline useless. Since Breach is going core immediately rather than taking a league off.
Arrow, help. How is Lift? We are doing React content. It's rough, man. You got nothing? Talk to me.
They do need to do some pretty heavy retuning to Breach as a mechanic. The main thing, the thing everybody's asking for, is for the walls around the Aelith Hive events to be removed. Just full stop, not something you have to burn down. And that would definitely be our #1 priority here for any sort of Breach rework. But the collapsing breaches do actually need to be more...
We're really theory crafting the new League mechanic, and the thing is we're landing on timers. So like gear that you find in your map's got a timer. If you don't use it in time, it disappears. Also, yeah, your character is timed. It gets voided after 7 days. So if you're not fast enough to get to maps, it's just tough cookies. Your character gets deleted. Every map is a void map, but it also has a timer. Freesha 2.0? I don't know if they're going to do it.
Rewarding as well. The Genesis tree is kind of in a weird state, because on the one hand, it is an overpowered gear crafting option right now. But on the other hand, if they nerf it and make it too weak, it's basically just going to be a dead on arrival League mechanic. They really have a tough job of balancing it so that it stays strong, but not so powerful that it invalidates other mechanics like essences and fossils. And they really need to nail that balance. Then the fifth and probably most important thing that we would like to see is an Atlas passive tree revamp. We've had roughly the same Atlas passive tree for a bunch of leagues in a row now, and a substantial shakeup would really revitalize the endgame for players without actually requiring a bunch of new content be created. Alright, so here we have our bingo board. I've gone ahead and put the 5 things that I've mentioned so far just in the 4 corners and the middle.
No, no. I'm sorry, but I'm not watching 10 minutes of a flashbang. Sir, you can't do a 10-minute flashbang. Path of Exile, I'm sorry, I gotta skip ahead for the sake of mine and my viewers' eyes. Your wife? You're gonna start calling your wife your employee? Oh shit. Alright, well, guys, rest in peace, Arrow.
bottom tier popularity, and it's like our class
Foulborn
mine's a
or
build that we
core?
really like.
It does seem like Foulborn's going core.
Like, it's very unpopular, the Saboteur Ascendancy. It really should be better for mines than it is. It doesn't have to be the best mine Ascendancy in the game, but clearly it's outclassed by, like, Trickster at the current moment.
Why there's so many bingos? Oh god. Okay, wait, no. Sir, guys, you can watch. I can't handle flashbangs. I'm too old. Part of the evening. I'll give you a thumbs up. I'll give you a thumbs up. Arrow. Give content, please. It has come to this. Josh Shripe says. Wait, being a React Andy's hard. I have to like find videos to click. Oh god, there's so much effort. You literally have nothing. What do we have? Shit's getting weird. I'm a bit scared. React Andy. You guys thought being a React Andy was hard? Mr. Beast isn't cute. Here's his brutal business lesson. You can't pretend. What the fuck? Go away. What are you up to at the moment? What are you up to at the moment, Arrow? We're running dry. We're running dry on content. Aren't I a literal musician? I was. Is he Jorkin? Watching my fave streamer? You will go to the gym. Catch you later, Rhett. Don't you want to talk to your favorite streamer? Tell me your opinions on ground loot. What's your opinion on ground loot? State of calendarification. True. Although we might need to save this for tomorrow. We've got another, how many days? We've got another fucking 3 days until I'm allowed to play the video game. Did we see the Arrow video? We did. Well, no, we didn't. I did. You reacted to the Fub video, talked about Sabo, and then played Battlefield 6. Alright, let's watch the Arrow video since he doesn't want to talk to me. Arrow and I did see Holy Hammer. It looks cool. He does employ his wife. You can't watch your own video? I always told you can just talk to me. You can talk to me and give me your 2 cents on all the changes coming. What are your biggest hopes? What are your biggest Sir Gog? Yes, content. All right. You guys said that he had an epic 10-minute video on a 6-second teaser. Dawn of a New Era. I also think Adrenaline, I've also got that feeling. I feel like it's reached a tipping point. Oh shit, a new slam. Did they mention about Bloodlines? They didn't yet. What do we want to click? The art of turning a 6-second teaser into a monetized 10-minute video. What's even better is turning a 0-second loot, a 0 second of content into 6 hours of it. Oh god, it's only been 3 hours. Which PoE for more reaction adding? Yeah, it's 8 minutes.
Oh, howdy y'all. Grab
Hello.
yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 1 discussion. Welcome to day 9 of teaser season. Don't go looking for videos for days 6, 7, 8. They didn't all exist. Videos are coming out on the days that they're relevant. Today, though, Granny Games dropped a very, very short video.
The 3.28 lead mechanic, it's going to be timed loot. Everything that falls on the ground has a timer attached to it, and if you don't use it, it disappears. And if you do use it, it also disappears. So basically, you're going to find like way more divine orbs, but you have to use them, and you're not allowed to trade them. Or else.
That has a lot in it. This is the Holy Hammers teaser video. This video goes for the incredibly long duration of 6 seconds. And
that's longer than I lost.
Yet it manages to cram quite the teaser into that 6-second video. So we're going to be watching it, but we're not just going to be watching it. We're going to be watching it in slow motion, repeating little parts of it, because I think there's a couple of things that are hidden in here. And who knows, there's probably something else that I'm missing as well that is also hidden in here.
Holy hand grenade. Oh, dude, we should play Worms. Yeah, there you go.
This appears to be a new skill. It appears to be a physical lightning hybrid slam. So something akin to Smite, the way that it is a physical part converted to lightning skill, but Smite's big brother that decided to be a slam skill instead. And of course, as is often the case when GGG tease a particular skill, it often means there might be a balance pass to the existing skills in that meta. So those of you who were Earthshatter enjoyers, sorry.
RIP.
Here's the video and it's on silent playing at full speed. Now, let's go back and watch that again, but this time, pay attention to a few things. We're going to go watch it once more at full speed, then we'll come back and slow it down. Firstly, the character leap slams first. You will notice this leap slam is slow.
I'm
This
enthralled.
is giving you some sort of indication as to the general level of progression of the character.
Okay.
If this was a deep endgame character, you'd probably expect them to be leap slamming a little bit faster than that. Secondly, you'll also get to see the wind up that's part of the animation of this Holy Hammer skill. And then
I also love Sir Gog. He's so good.
You'll see the skill itself be unleashed.
You gotta get your
There's the leap slam.
Okay.
And there is your big thunk that comes down when you fire the Holy Hammers off.
Oh, that's even better, Billy. It's a divinal, but it is trade restricted, so you have to wait a certain amount of time before you use it. Yeah, exactly. This is so unhinged. We're gonna like loop this 6-second video. Okay, wait. All right, but I'm dragging it out. The Seussification of PoE. I do not want loot from a tile. I want loot dropped in a pile. I do not want loot from a tree. Do not give that loot to me. I do not want loot from a boat. I do not want that smuggler's coat. I don't want loot from Kulguran slaves. I don't want to keep them well and safe. Please put loot back on the ground, or we exiles will not be around. Do not repeat these looting shames. Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. I miss him so much. Christopher.
Now, let's watch this again, but this time, let's watch it slower.
What a poet.
And let's go half speed.
The guy didn't even know that he was a poet. Crazy.
First. After this, we can then have another look and look at it frame by frame. This time, I want you to pay particular attention to the character and anything that might be orbiting them, because there's some interesting things to look there.
Okay.
So firstly, leap slam. We have no charges, nothing else orbiting. Now we have a transition.
Whoa.
Immediately after this transition, there are at least 3.
This is a Quicksilver Flask. That's a Quicksilver Flask. Miso. Miso Shiru. How you doing? Wee woo, time to get pegged. I prefer the real thing, but I mean...
Of these
How you
power
doing?
charges, sometimes it looks like 4, and there'll also be 2 other blue orbs. We'll see that.
That's a power charge.
Is again a bit clearer when we decide to go back to this.
Oh, no, that's not a power charge. That's a Quicksilver Flask. Damn, I'm getting really into this now. Okay.
Watch it not at half speed, but when we watch it frame by frame.
And he also appears to have rage.
The other thing to note is the propagation waves that take place here. This is not a hit everything in front of you instantaneously. This is a case of you fire it off. It firstly strikes the area directly in front of you, and then...
Dude, it's great. And I'm dragging it out even further. This is layers of stalling upon layers and layers and layers of stalling. So much. How's it going? How's PoE 2 going?
And from there, it propagates outward. You'll see there's definite wave structure there to the way that it propagates across the screen. This is not going to be one of those slams that propagates damage instantly to everywhere it's ever going to hit. And in that way, it's going to be more like Thunder.
Okay, but now check. What if we link it with concentrated effect? Do these overlap? We get like a super tiny effect and it just goes on the one spot. Just like right on the one spot. 6-second teaser into a 10-minute video into a 45-minute react. Incredible. I am an artist.
There is something that propagates damage pretty well, but it does so on its own timeline. Contrast that to something that is more instantaneous. An example of that would be Val Ground Slam in particular. When you set that off, it's just instant. It hits everywhere it's ever going to hit, and it does so in one shot.
Okay, shit, we're going to watch again at 0.25
let's watch
speed.
this again, this time at 25% speed.
Yes.
And here you get to see...
All right, here you can see this is the helmet that drops from Uber Shaper. I think this is an implication of improved boss loot, especially for Ubers. This is an MTX. This is an MTX. So I think this is going to be a special at some point. Skeletons? What do you think skeletons? Dude, wait. How many skulls are on Headhunter? Headhunter, leather belt. Hunter, leather belt. Wait. Okay. We have how many skulls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 skulls on Headhunter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guys, I think they're buffing Headhunter. And also it's going to drop from Uber Shaper.
The very slow methodical slam.
Holy shit, I can't believe it. Go tell everyone on Reddit.
Propagate. And you can see here, it's much clearer that the propagation is coming from these hammers that are coming down from the sky. But what if we were to go and watch it again, but this time we'll be watching it frame by frame.
Okay.
And because a lot of people will ask me how to do this.
I didn't crown the rocks from the leap slam, you're right. But the monsters didn't drop any loot. Something, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
All you need to do on YouTube, whether you're watching it from the actual...
The teaser is on strand map. What's measured in strands? Hair? Who has hair? Maven buff? Just saying. Oh my god. Arrow. So smart. The mobs aren't shocked. It's because you can infer that based on the character type he's playing, he's using elemental focus. So he doesn't imply shock. Which means that shock is getting nerfed in 3.28, by the way.
YouTube site, or whether you're watching it embedded like I am here, all you need to do is press either the full stop button to go forward 1 frame, or press the comma if you want to go backward 1 frame.
I'm going to watch Sir Gog's video 1 frame at a time. And then he's going to watch this one 1 frame at a time.
So there's several frames here of wind up. And we'll just look for where it looks like the first initiation of the ability takes place. And then we'll time it from there.
Oh, frick. Okay.
So here you can see the character looks like they're in more of a walking... here we are. More of a walking pose. Now, this point.
The teaser on YouTube. MTF previews. MTX previews. You're right. It's coming. All right. This is me counting frames. How many? Okay, so there's...
So this is 46 frames later. So 3/4 of a second at this character's speed. We then jump forward. Notice that this is an instant transition.
Okay.
So we've got this character that's not super in-game, doesn't look glowy, doesn't look all that fancy. This is a character that's fairly early in progression, facing a bunch of skeletons and something spikier behind them. And then we jump forward, the skeletons are gone, the spiky enemies are still visible, and the character now has 3 power.
Wait, the monsters changed. Wait, the monsters changed. It's skeletons, but here...
Spikier behind them.
It's a spiky, guys.
And then we jump forward, the skeleton...
It's a Mirage. It's a Mirage.
Are gone, the spiky enemies are still visible, and the character now has 3 power charges.
I might be jumping ahead.
Remember power charges? We're going to want to talk about those in a sec.
All right.
As well as that, there's this little blue orb that is not yet solved exactly what it is. It could be an MTX. It could be something that is related to this particular skill.
You might have to log off till Thursday. Am I stalling too hard? Am I making you want to quit streaming right now?
And here we go.
Okay.
It is another 4 frames, so we're now talking 833 milliseconds after what I presume was the initiation of the skill. And we're striking and dealing our first damage. And then the propagation is pretty fast in comparison.
There's still a couple of hours to go.
So we're at this range of propagation after another 6 frames.
You're saying, oh, the skill makes your weapon glow. Can it only be used with the mate? I have no idea.
And I think this is 18 more frames.
I'm making you not want to stop. Why? Is it because my content is too engaging?
Milliseconds later, that it starts striking new areas and dealing more damage there.
Sorry, I just wanted to move so we can.
And then it's quite a bit longer until a further propagation takes place. So, what is this skill going to do in terms of mechanics? We don't know everything, but what it looks like it's doing is it's striking an area in front of you after a fairly considerable delay, like a typical slam, and then it is causing echoes of that slam to take place in certain other locations. Can an enemy be hit multiple times by this? The answer is we don't know.
This is dealing piss damage.
If it is possible to hit enemies multiple times with this, then I feel like one of the things you've got to try out. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. There's one of those things that has to be tested, but it feels like something that could be extremely, extremely good in conjunction with knockback, which is something that has been a really bad mechanic in all of Path of Exile's history.
Yeah, it's fizz to piss conversion.
Except for one or two weird times. So that's something that you might want to actually consider.
Yeah, there's like multiple dead zones, but what if you use conk effect and you make it like, make it nice and tight, and then they all overlap? And Gormis! It looks like perfect strike speed. You're right. Perfect strike. No, there is no defense against piss damage.
Not knockback support. Knockback support is terrible, but there is a shrine that knocks back, and you can actually get that shrine effect from the lesser brutal shrine that is found on the unique chess player's Blunderbore. Blunderbore
Fizz to piss conversion, blood magic, the UTI build.
is not actually all that rare anymore. It's a tier 3 rarity unique, I believe, at the moment. Historically, it was much rarer, but then it got made quite a bit more common. Of course, using Blunderbore has its own challenges. It has a massive, oppressively high even strength requirement.
It's not that big.
Okay. And so it's up to you whether that's going to be appropriate for the way you want to build your character or not. But it's definitely an option to consider. And you can either just build that amount of strength into your character, or alternately, you can use it in conjunction with the Timeless Duel that turns off attribute requirements, but also does come with an additional drawback associated.
As extra piss. It's so
with it. We then have this propagation sweeping through, and because of the stylization here,
I just want to slow this down quickly, sorry. I need to fully...
pretty certain that this is going to
We're going to immerse ourselves.
Whatever your weapons damage is, but then that weapon damage is going to be 50% converted from physical to lightning. That's the standard stylization of the holy type physical / lightning damage in Path of Exile. That's the way it tends to work. Alternately, it could be something really out of left field, like the
piss damage
existing skill Divine Retribution, which hits a fairly similar part of the screen. And Divine Retribution is actually a spell, even though it looks like and very much feels like a weapon attack. So there's a whole lot to look at in here. I think it was an interesting skill to try and dig deep into.
God, the meme is getting so bad.
Well, it's going to live or die based upon the numbers it's got. And it's also going to live or die based upon how much synergy it has with existing slam builds, or how much people are willing to adapt those existing slam builds. All, of course, assuming that it is a slam as it feels like it is. If it's something else, then we'll know that once we get the full patch notes, and particularly once we get the 2020 gem details. 2020 gem details are usually one of the last things that we get out of Grinding Gear games.
Are we allowed to release build guides before 2020? What's the what is the ethical thing nowadays? Like, how do I avoid getting cancelled? Do we wait for 2020s and then we release build guides, or we don't care anymore?
When a new patch is coming, so we might not know this until 36, 48 hours
it's definitely
before
bait.
The patch goes live, or if we're really unlucky.
I mean, you get called bait no matter what. What is 2020? 2020, the level 20% quality, 2020 gem details. I don't think we've had build breaking patch notes for multiple leaks now anyway. I think it's fine. Can only find piss items in yellow maps to increase their usage.
We might not know it until 24 hours before
2026. OMG.
That said, the fact that we're seeing power charges here indicates that it might be something that's oriented to a quite different type of slammer than exists at the moment. It's not that you can't make a slam build around power charges currently, it's just not the way that people tend to be playing them. So new options will be fun to play with. Whether they're good or not is something we'll have to discover once the patch goes live. Also, speaking of patch notes, we're likely to get those my Friday, which might be your Thursday. And that's when the main live stream announcement takes place. Grinding Gear Games will drop a whole lot more information. It won't just be tiny little teasers like this one. It will be a whole massive presentation on exactly what to expect when 3.28 goes live. I will, of course, be restreaming that. I'll be restreaming it both to Twitch and to YouTube. And if you watch it on Twitch, there is a Twitch exclusive promo Grinding Gear Games are running where you get an extra MTX bonus for doing so. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. May your Varlobs have interesting results. and have fun bringing holy hammers down on the heads of your enemies inside Rayclast.
There we go. The only way to avoid getting cancelled, stop streaming or saying anything online anywhere ever. There you go. True. The Trothus version of this skill should summon hammers from the Holy of Relics. Yes. There's a video. That guy is called Sir Gog. He's really cool. Oh, the skill, Desmond. Exactly. Like, it's going to get Ziggy D'd, man. I think this thing's going to get the Ziggy D. And, well, we'll see. We'll see. Can't wait to play the game without Breach. It's going to be so good. You ate 500 grams of ice cream. Oh, no. And Gormis, are you going to be playing 3.28? What is this? Please don't be something that's going to get me cancelled. The Calandra. This is tomorrow's content. It's so good. But we have another 3 days of stalling to do. Another 3 days.
A familiar face.
You're a PoE 1 player first? Oh, yes. I'm dooming me. Amy, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I'm a doomer now. Help. Alright, let's watch this guy. You're right, I could stretch the Lighty podcast for 3 days. I really want to watch this, because I know Lighty is like pretty negative about PoE 2. Played since 2013. Me too. I had my 13th birthday just the other day. Should we make Arrow awkward? Oh shit, the #1 player explains it all. And Gormis! I didn't know you did a pod with wait, you were 13 when PoE... Holy shit. I mean, I was like 22 when I started playing. Do it. Cinema? 2-hour podcast. Oh, fuck. The Chris Wilson video, I have seen it. Okay, let's watch Arrow. I love this guy. He's cool and cute. And smart. What else needs to be addressed? ASAP. Wait, Arrow, just cover your ears, okay?
What is going on, guys?
Hey!
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Arrow.
He didn't want to talk to me on stream, so now we have to get our Arrow fix. I do. I don't play them as much.
Today I want to talk about...
You have to run away? You could have just phoned me on Discord and we could have spoken. But you refused. Point blank, you rejected me. I know, he is so handsome.
The things that I believe GGG must fix for 3.28.
I should react to my own streams. Infinite content.
Time of the league where people are going to be putting out a lot of videos like this. My list is not all inclusive or exhaustive. There are things that are going to be on here that you may not agree with as the most important, and there are going to be things that I leave off. So make sure you let me know down in the comments which ones you'd think I forgot or...
He doesn't want to speak to me. We're beefing.
Got wrong, but this is my personal list. Let's start with #1. This is what I believe is the elephant in the room: ground loot.
Ground
you hear
loot.
this word get tossed around a lot, but you can...
Do I need to make one of these videos? I've been meaning to make one of these videos since last week Friday, but I haven't had a chance yet. I do have a list. I do have a list of my wishes for 3.28. It is... Fuck, I lost it. Oh no, I got it. Firstly, leave kinetic fusillade alone, or else. Secondly, we need a Faustus stash button. Then, don't remove shit without adding new stuff, please. The other thing, new scarabs or reworked old scarabs. Get rid of delayed loot / chores to acquire loot. I actually wrote this down before all the ground loot shit. Buff Sleemers. Get rid of towel loot. I should make a whole video about towel loot. I actually did some towel looting a couple of weeks ago. More ways to scale. Too much stacker shit. These are my notes. There's too much stacker shit. Would like to see something like a discharge meta. Okay, I think I was drunk when I wrote this. And then I said bring back fun things like infinite heist and performance improvements. I'll upload this video now. Make a troll video and defend ground loot? Call PoE players entitled and drama queen? Top rage bait. You down for a discharge, man? I'd be up for that. defensive overhaul. Just make the most rage bait video. Guys, we need to nerf life and buff energy shields.
Simplify this down pretty easily. Path of Exile over the last few years has moved towards a loot tile system where a monster or a box will drop some kind of item, and the loot that the monsters drop naturally has been significantly reduced. Now, Fubgun and Snap have both made good videos on this. Make sure to check them out. So I won't go too deep, but what I want to say is that I miss the days where I could target farm a divination card.
Yes.
The fact that that's not really available to us anymore says a lot about the ground loot situation. And there are
More
a lot of other
tiles.
things that could be addressed, maybe tiering of rares, etc. But something has to be done because the game has moved away from what is so great about an ARPG, and that is the chance to find stuff on the ground. Now,
that's the thing, is like Diablo 2, if you think it's, Diablo 2 doesn't have a fucking endgame. It has the most insanely repetitive, on paper boring content where you are just like killing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, but people are still playing it 25 years later because it's just like the fundamentals of kill thing, get loot, and you've got that thing in the back of your head where it's like, I could get it, I could get the thing. Oh, arrow. Opposite, you're right. You just appear and then we talk about D2. Oh god. Wait, if you are, hold on, and Gormis, are you younger than Diablo 2? Oh my god. That's weird.
just for clarification before we move on to number...
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Amasid and today we are turning in...
You're barely older.
...of the Shepherd Sandals. Now I paid just about 3 divines for these. I think maybe
2.
Oh.
Don't think it's too difficult to make currency in PoE 1. I don't think there's no loot in the game. I just think that ground loot itself is a very fun way to acquire loot, random divine drops, etc. And I don't think it's in a great place right now. So thing number 2 on my list, synth items dropping in synth maps. I've been asking for this for many leagues now, and I find it to be patently absurd that the most effective way to get synth items is from non-synth maps.
Dude, that's crazy. But it's true. It's true for so many things right now. But synthesis is the worst one because synth maps don't drop synth items, and it used to be so much fun. But this is the case with a lot of stuff now, where it's like, oh, you want to farm X thing? Do something completely unrelated, and yeah, like just do something completely different. But synthesis is like the ultimate example of that. Where didn't I do a synthesis farming strategy? I did once, and it was really fun. I did. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. You want to farm essence, farm gold, and flip him. Yeah. Or like, it's just a case with so much stuff, man. Where there's so many instances where the league that you get that thing isn't the best thing to get the thing. But yeah, I 100% agree, Mr. Arrow. I think he's run away. Puts a lid on multiplier, and people like Fubgun complain that they can't have Mega Juice. It's also just because like the base drop rate is so bad. Ubas. Oh yeah.
To that, the fact that synth maps outside of the Cortex drop no synthesis items at all doesn't really make a lot of sense. Please, at least explain to us why we can't have synth items in synth maps, and then maybe I'll stop asking for it. Until then, you're going to have to do Harvest, Ritual, Heist, maybe get lucky from a strong
Beasts
box, but you're not going to get synth items from synth maps.
Trees.
GGG, please fix.
Please fix. You don't see if his wife... Oh, his wife probably checked in.
Thing number...
Is he employed by her or her by him?
3 is the incarnations. This drives me crazy. They added 3 new bosses to the game, and the naming convention for them makes no sense. You have 3 incarnations, Neglect, Fear, and Dread, and then they have completely irrelevant names for their fragment. The incarnation of Neglect can be farmed through the Echo of Loneliness and the Lonely Fragment. The incarnation of Fear is the Echo of Trauma, and I only know this because I'm looking at the website. And the incarnation of Dread is the Echo of Reverence.
True.
I don't know why they don't just make the names match the fragments. This is a super small complaint, but it drives me crazy, and everybody I talk to doesn't know which one is which. Number 4, the state of Tier 17s. Now, the reason that I am confident that we are going to see a Tier 17 rework is not only did Mark and Jonathan talk about it at length in the last ZigD interview, but it appears that we're going to be getting Octavian in the pre-patch notes interview after the launch trailer. Now, that launch trailer will be this Thursday, Make sure you check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/AER0___.
Give him a follow. Let's give Arrow a shout out. There we go. Go follow this guy. He's cool.
We'll be live just about every single day and also during that event. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, like, comment down below, all that fun YouTube stuff. Now let's get back to it. Octavian being present is a big hint that we are going to see some endgame changes. As far as I know, Octavian was a big driver behind the tier 17s that appeared some leagues ago. So the fact that he'll be present this time around makes me think we might be seeing some changes on that front. So what do I want out of tier 17s?
No.
Bring them back to their original purpose, which was to farm boss fragments for Ubers. I don't mind tier 17s being rewarding. What I mind is them being the largest maps in the game that also have the highest multipliers on them that pretty much makes every farm that you can do on them required to do on them. If a scarab can be used in a tier 17 map, it will be. That'll drive the price of that scarab up, and it'll make it unreasonable to use in 16s or 16.5s. The idea of having a map tier that was not self-sustainable, that you could only drop while farming tier 16s and then use that map to farm out content for Ubers was an exciting prospect for how to progress into the endgame. What it turned out to be is tier 17s are the least fun, given that they have the most build bricking mods. And most of them are narrow hallways. And the bottom line is that tier 17s feel like the best way to farm everything, and that sucks.
I agree. It feels like low-hanging fruit. If we're going to have a cohesive design philosophy in PoE with loot types being homogenized toward the mechanic, then Legion needs to go, Elven needs to go, and we cannot have loot tiles altogether. That happens, people will complain that you have to jump from place to place and play SSF-esque to unlock stuff. We'll be locked out of potential loot rewards and swayed into it following the current meta. That's fine. I think it'd be interesting to see what would happen if for a league they just made it that like only Delve drops fossils. Only Delve drops fossils. Only Legion drops Legion fragments. I think that would be the worst for people who do currently play SSF though. But ban him.
16.5s give us that additional challenge. They're significantly harder than tier 16s, but it still allows us to choose the map that we want to farm, choose the div cards that we want to farm. And I think there should be a line between the 16.5s and the tier 17s, and tier 17s can go back to what they were intended to be, which was a boss fragment map. So speaking of tier 16.5s, number 5 on my list is tier 16.5 memory pedal skills.
Didn't they say they were going to fix these? Your 3.28 wishlist, Omicid, Arrow, and Lolcohol all sent IRL. Dude, Omicid, how sad are you that fucking Shroud got one of those? Zasarai, thanks for the follow. It's getting fixed next week. Oh, true. I don't have the chat on my screen. I'm scared they're going to ban me. I'm going to get in trouble. You already sent several messages to Shroud asking to 1v1 you. And yeah, there you go. In the Sauna Arena for the box. No response. Josh got one, but not... I'm okay with Josh getting one. But there was one butthole streamer who I don't remember who smashed it with a hammer to get the thing out. I don't like that. I want the thing. Also, where's my ExileCon invitation?
I have been complaining vocally about these for quite some time. I find them to be incredibly uninteresting, annoying to use, and often impossible to use. I played a Death's Oath build that was actually impossible to use these pedals with because anything that got close enough for me to hit with the pedals was already dead from my Death's Oath aura or the explosions caused by the enemies who died. It was physically impossible for me to press these buttons.
My build was too good.
And I don't think loot should be tied to you getting really close to a bunch of monsters, standing still and waiting for the pedal skill to go off, and then being able to fight them. It was a cute idea for the league. I enjoyed them when they first came out, kind of, but I don't think they...
Can't they just squish it in with Sentinels? Because it's kind of similar with Sentinels. They gave it to a bottle... No, not a bottle. Not that kind of stream. They just gave it to someone who smashed it with a hammer to get it out. Was it a WoW streamer? What the frick? You didn't get the right towel to get the ExileCon invite drop. You're right. Is it RNG who gets invited? I don't think I would have gone anyway. The flights are crazy. The flights are crazy. What is wrong with buttholes? True. Maybe that is a compliment. Maybe I was using it as a compliment.
Have any place in the core game.
We need
I don't
less
mind
loot.
that each map might have something different about it, that maybe the monsters are empowered in some way, or maybe you're empowered in some way. I think that's cool, but don't make me press a button when I get to every single pack throughout the map.
I fucking hate pressing buttons, just in general. Gaming sucks. The thing is though that it is on like F2 or something, and like, man, as a gamer, like my fingers, I don't have like the mobility or muscle strength to like pull that far. Look how long distance that is. See, it's like they make me do fucking, it's like work, man. I'm gonna have to go to the gym to play this game before long.
It's tedious and unfun. Just build them into the map itself.
Yeah.
Number 6 on my list, and probably my most important, is an Atlas tree shakeup. The Atlas passive tree came out in 2022, so a little bit over 4 years from today, and we have not seen a major shakeup since.
Scrimps!
That's an absurdly long time. Most games don't even last that long. Never mind a single tree that basically decides what the meta is. I think not only do things need to be moved around, but I think they need to really think about the way that we scale loot and whether or not map mod effect is the way that they want to do it.
I will say. Have I seen DM's video about the no button build in PoE 2?
Originally, map mod effect was given to us all over the place on the tree, and it was by far the most powerful thing you could get, but it was also pretty unfun. Getting a lot of map mod effect would make it so that...
Wait, you're not hyped? Why are you not hyped? What's going on? I think it's gonna be a PoE League. You've always used controller for the last week. For PoE 1?
Your regen could be turned off, your leech could be turned off, your ability to curse, all sorts of things could be just shut off by getting enough map mod effect that the modifier reaches 100%. But because it was
Science and Math Geek, thank you for the sub.
so powerful, everyone felt like they had to use it. What that leads to is a convergence of builds. Only builds that can do all map mods at 100% can farm the highest tier content. I don't think that's great for the game. I don't think it's great for build creation, which is an absolute staple of Path of Exile. So other forms of scaling, maybe simply things like quant appearing on the tree might be a good idea, but then that will feel just as mandatory as map effect. So it's hard to say. I don't have the solution for this, but I will say that people are starting to grow tired and weary.
I mean, Scrimps, I've also got that feeling. This is like something feels a little bit off, right? We were talking about it earlier, but I think that once the announcement drops, it's going to be very, very hype again. I think it'll be very exciting. But also, yeah, like, have you taken a break? Have you taken a break? Like, I had to take a very, very deliberate break where I'm like, shit, I'll just take the hit. We play some Neo or something and like whatever. You just like, just take a break. Take a break from the game. You're wildly burnt out. Yeah. I think that's pretty common. You gotta, the meta is gonna be you earn money for 1 month and then you play something else and like earn peanuts for months.
Of the existing tree, and it feels like every single league we kind of have the same sort of strategies. So let's just mix it up. Lastly, number 7, I know this is a thing that has been talked about a ton, but this is breach walls.
Breach walls.
We're getting breach, it's going core, whether you like it or not. And the truth is, I actually found the baseline breach mechanic to be quite fun. I enjoyed clearing the breach, running back to the middle.
Elden Ring, yeah. Neo, dude. Neo is also super good. Everyone's been on and you're playing Delve in BPL the week before reveal. Oh shit. And we're getting Octavian. I think you gotta like balance it out, man. There's so much pressure as a streamer to just like go so fucking hard all the time. But I can't. Like this weekend the D2 thing drops. I was hyped for it, but you gotta do other stuff, man. Otherwise you end up just feeling miserable. Don't earn as much money or like have as big an audience, but
the faster you can clear it, the faster you can get back to the middle, kill those rares or kill the boss, and then move on. However, the walls simply have to go. I also don't know that the hives being in the game are a terribly good idea. And if they are in the game, they need to be incredibly rewarding because they take so much time.
Fun in
the
your
truth
video
is,
game?
I believe breach walls will be leaving simply because we won't have graphs to get rid of them. The only way you were able to get through the walls in the first place is you met Aelith before you entered the mudflats. She gave you a graft. The graft gave you the ability to melt the walls down with some righteous fire sort of effect. And we're no longer going to have those grafts.
Oh no.
So hopefully they can twist something into the story to get rid of those walls. The surface hives have been destroyed or
I didn't even notice that. Not rage baiting, but what is the point of the middle section of the video arguing for the need of balance patches? They admitted to the fact that they didn't get to do the sweeping changes and was pretty much in the gutter in terms of community confidence of 3.27 balance changes. What do you mean by that? You like to play, you keep trying to play games, other games to take a break, but you lose interest so fast. You also don't have the hype that you usually do. Like seeing the league name announcement. Yeah. The community hype season is just like, it's not as good as it used to be. But once the announcement happens, that's when the proper hype is. Oh, right. I don't know. I mean, he's just saying what he's hoping for. They must change these things, or else Arrow will come to your house.
And just let us do a regular style breach.
The PoE.
So I could yap all day about this, but I am going to go and get the stream started after I finish editing. And I will see you over there. Twitch.tv/AER0___. Thank you for being here. I am very hyped for this league start, even though we don't really know anything about it yet. But I can't wait to see you over on the stream for 3.28 Mirage. Thank you all for watching. And as always, take care.
That delay. All right, Arrow, we're done. We're done. They forgot to do the sweeping meta shakeups, did they? Yeah, if you play PoE 2 and PoE 1, it's like too much, man. Give more. I miss Bex, man. I miss Bex so much. The thing that's funny is like Bex is more active than our current community managers on posts. Like, she hasn't worked at GG for a couple of years and you still see her more. All right. Let's delve into the depths. How do you make it? Is it hot? I miss Bex, dude. Everything changed when Bex left. How are you doing? Artorias. Oh, 3.26 you vividly remember? Of them promising the 3.26 meta change were far from enough. Maybe. Yeah, we've now reached the bottom of the barrel. We're opening Reddit and hoping... Ew, gross, dude. What the frick? Quality of life request. We should have an option in NPC in our hideout that sells orbs like in any other town. I agree.
Channel. My name is Amasid, and today we are turning in 50 sets of the Shepherd sandals. Now, I paid just about 3 divines for these. I think...
Why did it turn off? Ew, gross. Holy hammers. What is everyone saying about this? Is everyone just memeing that it's going to get the Ziggy D treatment? 100% this thing is mace only. Actually, mace staves since Templar. We could have had so much better content if Arrow hopped on voice call, but he refused. He refused. He's scared. He said he's shy. He DM'd me and he said he's too shy. I promised myself I would not play slams again for the last time, but I mean... We don't know what the numbers are on this. He said he hates me. I know. He did. He also DM'd me that. You hope it's a spell. It can be used with Mjolnir. It looks like a slam. Why aren't they spinning around in a spiral? We already have that game. We already have that. God, Reddit is so boring. Path of Exile. Marriage. No. Can we revisit Spectral Helix? I prefer when this website's dumb instead of just boring. First, I'm getting 4 void zones. Hooray! Congrats. Oh, okay, wait. This is... Can we please get some leveling skills balance? Why is rolling magma one of the most viable / best skills when it's fucking painful to play with? Play with something else, dude. You don't have to play with the most optimal thing. Where is the conspiracy? Also, when is Arrow going live on twitch.tv/Arrow__? Curls! Curls, thank you for the 20-month resub. I need to ask, do any of you understand people who play a game for the first time and immediately go on Reddit's posts? There's not many of them. How you doing, Curls? You want them to rebalance. SMH my head. Who doesn't use? Agreed. Who's not using KB for that? You don't get the hate on slams. It's a good starter, but most people only like started. Yeah. Slams are in a good spot. A few slam skills. Give us rain support gems. Call Faustus trade system. This is so boring. Even I'm getting bored of my own content. Fuck. Should we do the infinite content loop? There we go. Alright. Now we have infinite content. Should we do the infinite content loop? Yes. Let's do it. There we go. Alright. Now we have infinite content. This is so great. I think maybe we can just keep this going for the next 6 days. No, 3 days? This is so great. I think maybe... Yeah. We can just keep this going for the next 6 days. No, 3 days? No, it's 3 days, not 6. Maybe, yeah. We can just keep this going for the next... Yeah, alright. 6 days. Well... No, 3 days? No, it's 3 days, not 6. We don't even need content anymore. We can just keep this going for the next... Yeah, just watch this. Well... No, 3 days? You're in? Alright. That sounds cool. We don't even need content anymore. Yeah, just watch this. Well... No, 3 days? Hey, we got 60... That sounds cool. Content anymore. Yeah, just watch this. Well, no, 3 days. Hey, we got 60. Yeah. Yeah, you good? I'm doing great. How are you? I'm just trying to find content, but I think I've figured it out. We got 60. Yeah. Yeah, you good? I'm doing great. Awesome. How are you? I'm just trying to find content. Are you guys enjoying the stream? Yeah. You think you figured it out? Yeah, you good? I'm doing great. Awesome. How are you? I'm just trying to find content. I'm doing great too. Enjoying the stream? Jesus, this is horrible. Sorry, I'll turn it off. We were just ran out of videos to watch, so I was just watching my own stream. The greatest stream ever. Wait, you guys were enjoying this? They're enjoying it. They wanted to keep watching it. Awesome. How are you? I'm just trying to find content. I'm doing great too. How long till Arrow goes live? Then we can rate him. I'll turn it off. No, turn it back on, please. Thank you. We ran out of videos to watch, so I was just watching my own stream. The greatest stream ever. Wait, you guys were enjoying this? Oh shit. They're enjoying Wait, let's see how deep we can make it. I want to just see this like go into the void. Into the Mirage? Arrow goes live, then we can rate him. Can someone DM Arrow, please? Back on, please. Arrow. Thank you. Ran out of videos to watch, so I was just watching my own stream. No? Okay. The greatest stream ever. Wait, you guys were enjoying this? Oh shit. Wait, let's see how deep we can make it. I want to just see this like go into the void. I can't. Sorry. Alright, the bottom of the barrel has been thoroughly scraped at this point. It has been thoroughly scraped. Oh, for fuck's sake, no! 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 Palsteron! Maybe finally people will respect it though. He's doing totems, it's true. He is doing totems. Dusk ring stonks. Alright, well. I think I probably will start KF, but just for like a... Just because I need to assert dominance, not because I necessarily want to. It's gonna be the more... Making a guide, I will. Are you gonna play it? Are you finally gonna play one of my builds, Almacid? I think, for now, let's raid Palsteron. Let's raid Palsteron. Because he is also a KF enjoyer. If I make a guide, I will make a guide, I promise. Attacking, stacking shit, Captain Lance is triggered. Okay, we'll figure out what to do for the next few days. Becoming the KF guy. Maybe I will just, maybe we'll just do leveling practice or something. But for now, let's raid Palsteron. I'll see you all tomorrow. Catch you guys then. Bye-bye. What do you think about Mercs? Do you think they'll come back? I don't think so. Bye. Palsteron. Bye-bye, YouTube. See you tomorrow.
Fine. Fine. Yeah, Lolcohol, thank you for the raid. How's it going, man? How are we doing?
Wait, why was I not following House wrong?
Testing going. Or are you just catching up a little bit? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? We're currently